Welcome back to the To Be Better podcast. Before we get into the intro, we have a little bit of a disclaimer that we need you to hear.
We are not the experts of your life. You are.
We believe that most relationships can be saved. However, both parties have to want it, and both parties have to be willing to do the work.
So we speak in generalizations. If it applies to 90% of the population, and you're part of the 10% that it doesn't, it can be adapted to fit the narrative you're going with.
And it's up to you to make that adaptation. It's not up to us to cater to every single living being on the planet. We just want to get the information out there, and you can make it applicable to your life as you see fit.
So whether you decide to stay or decide to leave, you still have to make the changes that are necessary to grow.
If you fail to do the work, you're going to fail in your next relationship. So why not do the work now before quitting?
All right, so in emailing us, you are asking us for our unbiased, unfiltered opinions. If you're not ready to hear our opinions, do not email us.
And there are certain topics that we will not discuss on this podcast, such as domestic violence, SA, or other assaults and addiction.
Or children being abused.
Speaking of the emails, if you guys are going to send us an email, please be as detailed as possible. Take a second to proofread what you have sent and make sure that you have punctuation, because if you have one long paragraph that is a run-on sentence and it is a difficult thing for us to read, we're not going to sit down and retype your email just for us to be able to read it on the podcast. It will get moved into a rejected folder and we will never see it. And last but not least, if you're not interested in having your email read on our podcast, do not submit an email. We do not do direct emailing answers. It is a scratch our back. We scratch yours. You send email for our content. We give you the opinions that you're asking for. And if you would like to have your email submitted, you can send it to tobebetterco@gmail.com. The number 2, bebetterco@gmail.com. And episode 21.
21.
We are doing the thing.
That's crazy.
Doing it. Wow. Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Well, this will be the last week that we have to record everything in this room.
Correct.
I'm so excited to get that room set up.
Me too.
I really thought the chairs were going to be here today, but it looks like FedEx lied. Because it's still in California and they were supposed to be delivered today. I don't think they're going to get it to Florida in that kind of time frame, unless they've got some, physics worked out and they have the teleportation thing set up. But
unlikely.
Very, very unlikely.
Yeah.
House cleaning updates. For those of you who always ask where I get my shirts from, the fancy relentlessdefender.com. I finally got you guys a coupon code. It is to be better. You get 15% off your orders when you use it. Every time I wear one of these shirts and we post a TikTok video, there's people in the comments. Oh my God, where'd you get that shirt? Oh my God, where did you get that shirt? I got it from Relentless Defender.
With the code.
I didn't have the code. I paid full price for this shit, but
right.
You don't have to.
But going forward.
Yeah, to be better.
I'm going to use the code.
Yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, you could.
Hell yeah.
I actually had 3 people that I know yesterday ordered shirts and was like, use the code. I used the code. I'm like, fuck yeah, I love that. I like their clothes. I like the fit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really weird about my texture of my shirts. So when I find a company and I like their clothes, I buy it. There's this one and there's another company that I wear a lot of their stuff of, but they didn't respond to my email.
How unfortunate.
So since I'm not important to them, they're not important to me.
Understandable.
Right? I thought so. What else do we have for house cleaning? We really don't have much. We've been recording so damn much that we've told all the cool stuff. I really like the top of that dress.
Thank you. I'm really pushing my comfort zone with clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are 2 outfits. One's a dress and one was a romper that came with the clothes that came yesterday. Those 2 I'm probably going to ship back. But
really?
Yeah.
How come?
The dress is too tight. Even though I ordered it a size up, it's still really tight on my arms and I don't do well when I can't.
Yep, I get that. You don't even have to explain it. I get it. And
then the other one just didn't look good. It looked like I was wearing a pillowcase.
Yeah. You know those Hugo Boss shirts that we bought when we went to the Hugo Boss store? Those are a flex fit material. Like they're almost spandexy, like a loose spandex.
Yeah.
I only buy those shirts from that company because they make their shirts for either obese people who are boxy or like very narrow men and not men who are broad shoulders with a smaller waist. So when I put normal like button down shirts on from them and I lift my arm, I can only come to like right here. It's very limited movement.
Panic.
Yeah, it sucks so
I
bad.
like it.
And trying to get in and out of those, even though they fit me well, is a fucking nightmare because I don't have the mobility in my shoulders that I should. That's a me problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll help you.
Yeah, you help me get undressed?
Yeah.
Yeah, giggity. Man, I don't really have a whole lot. I'm very excited about everything moving forward. We're getting backlogged, which is a super dope thing. We have outings planned. Things are just moving the way they're supposed to be going. Sorry about that weird cut. The washer and dryer went off. Had to go change the clothes over. While we're while we're plugging things, let's go ahead and give Titan Medical a shout out too.
Okay.
For those of you who watch our podcast that have sent emails in that talk about libido issues, which is probably 30 to 40% of the content we receive, know that Titan Medical is also somebody that somewhat sponsors the show. And if you get your blood panels done through them, there is a significant discount if you use the code ToBeBetterTitan. There's a link in the description for both of the companies that we've shouted out today. You can save $50 to $75 through Titan by using that code. So if you're going to get your blood panels done, you might as well, go to somebody reputable and tell them that we sent you.
And now on to the next thing.
I don't have a next thing.
I don't either.
We let's I don't want to jump right into emails.
Okay.
So we that co-parenting video that we did, the side piece on co-parenting. I have posted a couple clips on there from there to TikTok. Have you posted anything from the co-parenting clip yet?
Yes, I have.
Did you get any negative comments from it?
Not that kind of, no, not
Dude,
that I can recall.
I got a ton.
About what?
Co-parenting.
But what was being spoken of?
Well, you get the same typical nonsense where people read what they want to read and hear what they want to hear, and it's not at all the conversation being had. So I get a lot of, I tried that and it didn't work. And I'm like, you tried to co-parent and it didn't work? Like, I don't understand what you're talking about because you can just, your life sucks. I get it. You're miserable. Dope. You be miserable, but just leave me alone. But there was things that were being said like, well, what do you do when one of them is a narcissist? And what do you do if it's toxic? And what do you do if you try and they're super mean to you? And like all of these conversations.
You should have had kids with them.
Right. You suck it up because it's not about you.
Right. It's about the children.
It's about your kids. I know that was very random, but I was thinking about the fact that we have, we literally prayed for the kids before we sat down. And, they're going back to their dad's house. And I started thinking about the fact that they're going to be there until, they come back here. And I was thinking about Jasmine and everything that we've got going on with the kids and that side of their family. And it just was very prevalent in my brain at the moment, I guess.
Yeah.
That's how my brain works. I don't know. I know that we both have a shadow ban. And I've talked about this a little bit in Discord. We were getting, you're well over 500,000 at this point.
Correct.
I'm almost to 900,000. I'm at like 876. We do have to record again today.
For what?
Spicy chip challenge, unless we do it on the live stream. But I would rather do it as a standalone video.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Anyways, I do believe that we both still have the shadow ban thing going. We've had a lot of people say that we don't show up on their FYP at all anymore. And I think it might be because I use the same hashtags over and over and over again. And that might be like hindering my views because I just posted a video with no context and within 10 minutes it had more views than the last video I posted.
I read that mass reporting can get a shadow ban too.
Well, I'm sure we get mass reported. I know for a fact we get mass reported. I'm having videos hit content violations from last year.
Wow.
I had one removed from September, 7 months ago. And it was a duet. It wasn't even something that I was talking on. I was literally just watching another TikTok and I got a fucking violation for it. The problem is they put in these violations. People mass flag the account to try to get videos removed. And when we appeal them, they don't get removed because we're not violating terms. We're very careful about what we say because we don't want our shit to get flagged.
Right.
But people still get butthurt. And I know that if enough of the videos get flagged, I mean, it does. It shadow bans. I don't know. I guess we can just get into emails. I don't have a whole lot to talk about.
Okay. I'm really excited about that black bean burger.
Yeah. Oh, we need to order that. I also realized today that we are so far behind that even if we did have a major conversation about life updates, we're almost 3 weeks out. Like we're getting to the point where like today's Thursday. This is going live 2 Mondays from now.
Okay.
So like we are recording for out at this point. So, and with us out without me having to edit, it'll be a lot easier to get those extra videos in because I'm not sitting at the computer editing.
Right.
I can't wait until that server comes. AJ, I can't wait until you have to do the editing because I'm so fucking sick of that shit.
All right. You just want to get into it?
I always want to get into it.
Yeah.
Wow, wow.
You want to pause this? I want to order the food when I have to leave to drop off that thing for the kids.
When are you doing that?
When we're done recording.
Okay. Well, let's just jump in.
Okay.
We're 20 minutes in and like there's a whole lot of stopping. So we're probably like 10. We'll call it 10 minutes less right now already.
Okay. So this one is called Advice Needed, Young Couple, Early 20s.
Okay.
I first want to say how much I appreciate the conversations you have on the podcast. I am female 22 and I am dating my partner who is male 22. We are currently long distance as he still lives in my hometown and my family moved a few counties up north in the same state. About an hour and a half to 2 hours away from each other. We have been dating for almost 4 years and have truly been growing together in such beautiful ways. I currently work full-time and I'm in school part-time in a master's program. My boyfriend has taken a break from school and he works full-time as well. We plan to get engaged and move in together once I finish school in about a year. We have spoken at length about marriage, timelines, finances, our potential future, etc., but I have an obstacle. I'm going to pause. Do people really plan out engagements?
It's funny that you went there. Because out of everything that you just read, that's the only thing that stuck to my head.
Really?
Yep. Why are you planning your engagement?
Right.
The only thing I can think of is that like she wants to have a photographer there to take pictures of it, and like they're trying to make a big deal out of it so that they can put it on the internet because they're young. That's the only reason I think that they would need to plan that. Because doesn't that kind of ruin the surprise?
Right.
Like the whole point of the engagement is for him to go buy the ring and to pop it in the right moment to like swoop her off her feet. I don't know. As a photographer, I have had people reach out to me wanting to do engagement photos, and it's always the woman. Men we don't give a shit about that. Well, wait, most men don't give a shit about that.
Did someone just knock on the door?
It sounded like it. Third interruption. Hopefully that doesn't happen again.
I grew up in a family dynamic where I was raised by a single mother with the help of my grandmother and my aunt. So a lot of estrogen. The messaging in my family has always been men aren't worth anything and they take and don't give.
And yet your mom breeded and here you are.
Yeah.
Whole lot of hate for men.
You know, it really blows.
And yet she slept with one.
It blows my mind. All the women are like, fuck men ain't shit.
No, they do though.
No, they say that thing.
And then they fuck men.
But then they want companionship of a man. They want that romantic intimacy with a man.
Yep.
That's just crazy to me. I have truly worked through that ideology and gotten over my hatred for men and what they have done to my family. However...
Wait. So all men have done that. It's all men? All men have done that. Got it. Just trying to understand the thought process there.
You know, I'm sure that there's always two sides to one coin. If one woman is continuously taken advantage by every single man that she gets with, where's the responsibility of I'm choosing these men?
Right. I agree.
The accountability, not responsibility. The accountability of I am making these choices.
Right. Common denominator in every one of those relationships is her. And it could be that she's just choosing shitty men or that she's oblivious to men or she has a type or whatever the case may be. But that is the fact. And if you want to blame all men for the actions of some, well, I mean, if that's the case, let's burn the whole fucking world down because I can say a whole bunch of foul shit about women that I know that have done foul things. Does that mean I should just hate all women? Because, you know, that's the logic behind that.
Right. I'm glad that she worked through that.
Me too. Because, yep. I'm reminding myself I'm supposed to not be mean anymore.
However, what remains is this feeling of being scared to trust a man's word and that they will take care of me.
Oh, wait a minute. So you hate men, but you want one to take care of you.
No, she worked past that.
That's not what she just said.
She said, however, what remains is this feeling of being scared to trust a man's word and that they can take care of me.
Right. So she doesn't trust men, but she wants one to take care of her.
Right.
Got it. So which is it? We're untrustworthy, evil dogs, or you want a man to take care of you? You're going to marry one.
Mm.
You're planning an engagement to one. He's a man. You said so. So do you not trust him? Because if you don't trust him, why are you going to marry him?
That's a very good question.
Verbiage matters. The way you guys fucking speak matters. The things that your thoughts become things. The more you speak shit into existence, the more it's going to hone and create your universe. Mm-hmm. It's going to shift your perception and your attitude towards your life, and you are going to get exactly what you fucking speak into the world.
Yep. My boyfriend is a fantastic...
My boyfriend's back and you're gonna be in trouble. Hey nah, hey nah.
My boyfriend is a fantastic man and reassures me at all times, but I have this fear to truly stay in that role of the feminine woman because I've seen the women in my family be constantly let down.
I've seen women use men for their money and take them for everything and keep them from their kids and a whole bunch of other horrible shit. Does that mean you're going to do that? Because if so,
Right.
You shouldn't be dating.
You need to learn from other people's mistakes. Like I said before, if one woman is constantly choosing men who take advantage of her and put her in shitty situations financially and continuously lets her down, that is the man that she is choosing to be with.
Right.
And then they end that relationship and she moves on to the next man who's going to treat her exactly the same way.
Yeah, because she has a type.
You have to raise your standards. Well, people in that situation, you have to raise your standards. If you don't change, what do you say?
If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got.
That's so confusing for me, but I love how it sounds because it's correct.
I got that from Ronnie Coleman.
Fantastic.
Right?
I'm glad he said that.
Yeah, buddy.
But as the daughter of a family of women who have constantly been taken advantage by men, learn from their mistakes and say, I am not going to allow this to happen to me. This man has never done you wrong. So why treat him as if he has? Because
he's a man and she's been taught to hate men and not trust them. So she's going into a relationship, soon to be marriage, with a bias against her man. Why would you want to even try at that point? Mm-hmm. Dude is literally setting himself up for failure. Does he know that you don't trust men and that all men are a problem for you and that you view him as a threat and that somebody that can't be trusted? Have you told him that? Because I'm willing to bet it would change the outcome of things.
It would definitely change the view of things, yeah.
Right. The view, not the outcome. It could change the outcome.
It could.
Perception. It would change the perception of things.
Sometimes this comes out in ways where I find I'm constantly trying to control conversations, situations, and next steps. Ooh, I do not do well when someone tries to control a conversation.
I'm not doing well with this email.
Yeah.
Yep.
My boyfriend often feels that it comes across as if I don't have trust in his decisions or ideas.
You don't.
You don't have trust. You just said that.
Yeah. Yeah, you were very clear about that.
So the way you feel is being seen by him. He knows that you don't trust him. I would love to begin our life together where I allow him to be the man and dominate. I really do put emphasis on A's. Mm. The man. Damn it. I would love to begin our life together where I allow him to be the man and dominant figure in the relationship as he has expressed, because I know that whenever I let myself have moments of submission, I feel much better. However...
Hang on, before you go on. I was waiting to see if you had a point there.
I did have a couple of thoughts, but I wanted to see what she said next.
Okay. I'm going to say something that's not relevant to what she's currently saying so that I'm not interrupting your points.
Okay.
Could you imagine getting ready to be engaged, planning out an engagement, thinking that you are on an even playing field, only to find out that you are starting a race with a 1 mile deficit behind the person that you're trying to marry? Does that make sense?
I'm going to need you to elaborate. Why is there a deficit?
Because she doesn't trust him.
Okay.
So where there should be an even level playing field, mm-hmm. where both people are seeing eye to eye, there should be a foundation of trust and understanding, and everything that you should build before you get into a marriage should be built by now, because they're starting to go to the engagement thing. If it's done properly, it should be built by now. Instead of having the foundation set where they can go and take off on their life and live, because the wedding's the beginning of your life, not the end of it. You are starting like this. She's got a 1 mile head start, and he's back here trying to catch up, thinking that they're on even playing fields.
Right. And he's not even aware.
Right. Or we can even address it as like buildings. You know what I mean? The first floor is your wedding date, and you got a skyscraper that you've got to live every level through. He's in the basement, and she's on the subfloor getting ready to go, or the floor 0, the lobby, the main floor, and he's down here trying to figure out like, how do we make this work? He's looking up. She's just like, I don't trust you. You can stay down there in the basement.
Right. That elaboration was helpful. That made a lot more sense.
Yeah. The car one, the mile race thing made sense to me way more than the skyscraper thing did, but all of this had to help, right? That's what did it?
I am a visual person, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Gotcha. I'll draw you a diagram next time.
Thanks. I really like pie charts. I like those graphs where it's like the 3 circles, but they're all intersecting and there's that one point in the middle that they all have in common. Those are nice.
Okay, so then since you like pie charts, how about the food pyramid?
Okay.
That they lied to us about our entire lives in school and told us that carbs were amazing for us.
Right.
And that we don't need proteins and all of that
that's
bullshit.
That's why we're all fat.
Yeah, exactly. So he's all the lies on the bottom while she's way up top, and he's like the base standard nonsense while she's at the top of the pyramid, and he will never be able to get up there because he's the untrustworthy male. You lose by genetic default. I'm done. Okay. I won't harp on it anymore.
So you've recognized in the moments of submission that you feel much better. Why are you fighting that? Why deny yourself the things that make both you and your spouse or soon-to-be fiance feel good? Why self-sabotage like that?
That's exactly what she's doing.
That is what that is. You are self-sabotaging. You know what makes you happy. You know what makes him happy. Because you can't get over your need to control him because you don't trust him, you're going to ruin this.
She's also going to end up in a situation where if they get married, she's going to find herself in a mothering role because she can't let him lead or trust him to do shit.
Yep. He's going to become a shell of a man.
Yep. Old turtle. Might not turtle enough for the turtle club.
Why does that sound familiar?
The Master of Disguise. It was one of the worst movies ever made, but I loved it.
I don't think I've ever seen that. All right. I let myself have moments of submission. I feel much better. However, my default whenever stress is high is that I want to take control again. What's your advice for a young couple who wants to set themselves up for success when it comes to being in traditional roles? Specifically, what advice do you have for me to release this hold on control and have my boyfriend be the man, provider, protector, etc. that he is requesting to be? P.S. I wanted to ask this because not only do I find both of your views on relationships to be so balanced, but I currently don't have any family members who have a strong marriage to look up to.
Do you know why that is?
Because they all hate men.
There you go.
And you are falling into that cycle of allowing that mindset to
perpetuate itself.
I almost want to say like this whole mindset is like putrefied, like a bloated corpse. Just not it. Like there's rancid smells, there's a lot going on, and all of it's not good. We need to Febreze this mindset.
We're not sponsored by Febreze. But, you know, if you guys want to call a brother, have your people contact my people. We can make something happen. Got a shitty relationship? Try Febreze.
Really, you have to let go of the control. You have to take that step back and you have to bite your tongue and you have to shut the fuck up.
Girlfriend got a stink attitude? Febreze.
Damn it. We're going to get a phone call from Breeze.
Probably.
I need to stop.
Yeah, probably. I'm probably going to be like, hey, don't do that anymore.
Get a cease and desist in the mail.
That's funny.
So with this mindset, you are 100% self-sabotaging the relationship.
Yep.
You know what makes you happy. You know what makes you feel good. Going back into that mindset that you grew up with is going to be hard to break. You are literally going to be rewiring your brain. So he wants to be this man. Until he proves you wrong that he can't, don't interject. Let him make decisions. Don't try to control the conversation. If you guys weren't together, he'd be living life on his own and he would survive because he is an intelligent man.
Mm-hmm. Or you find a woman who doesn't hate men. You know what's really going to happen?
What?
She's going to self-sabotage this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
destroy him in the process. And when it's all said and done, it's going to be his fault because he's a man.
Well, we're here for solutions.
Change your perspective, change your attitude on life, and live better. That's the solution. Everything that you've seen, you said it in the email, you don't have a single person in your life that has a healthy marriage.
And it's because of the behaviors that you're doing right now.
Yep. It's the mindset of everyone that has told you all that bullshit.
I never talk over you. I never question your decision making. I never belittle your thought processes.
My thoughts.
Your thoughts.
Just make it plural.
I hate the English language. So,
all right, last thought on this one. My last thought on this one
Okay.
before you move on is that in all seriousness, if you want this relationship to work and you want to be able to submit and let this man lead, you have to change your thought on what men are and not take the actions of a few and put it towards the action of all, because that's not how life works.
this same mindset, if they decide to have children, is going to affect their children.
Yeah.
You're going to see your children as something that you can control. Control is a emotion. Is that an emotion?
Mm-mm.
What is it?
It's a desire.
A desire. It's a desire derived from ownership. So right now you view your man as somebody that you own because you want to control the conversations. You want to control every aspect of his life because you don't trust him to do anything. When you have children, you're going to exude that same control over them. It might look different, but it's that control underlining is going to be there. If you don't correct this now, your children are going to grow up to hate you if you decide to have them.
I'm now very hung up on whether or not it's if I worded that right.
Why?
Because when I think of the need to control somebody, it's a desire to want them to do the things that you want them to do. But I don't know if that's right now. Like, I know that resentment is an emotion that comes from envy.
Right.
But where does the control come from? Anyways, I don't think that I was right with calling it a desire. I know what you were trying to say. And like I said, I think that the want to control people is the desire to make them do the things that you want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
But that was probably not the right term. Am I annoying you?
No.
Okay.
It's just a lot to process with that email. My brain hurts.
Already? We still have 2 more
I
to
am
do.
so exhausted. This week has been nonstop. And I still have shit I need to do today after this. And then the live. And record all day tomorrow, and I have to go shopping. I'm just tired.
You know, if we get this done quick enough, we might be able to do the one chip challenge. By the time you guys see this, it will be on our YouTube channel. It'll probably be on the reaction channel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure yet. But if you're not following the reaction channel, you should. To Be Better Reacts. Because we will be doing stupid shit on that channel.
I feel like we didn't answer her email.
I do. I feel like I answered it. The issue's her. It's her perception
Right, but how
of
does she
everything.
change that?
She realizes that she doesn't have anyone in her life that has a healthy marriage. Mm-hmm. So the life lessons that she's been taught were obviously fucking wrong because it hasn't worked out for anyone that she's looked up to. And she's relying on people's information from the internet because we have a healthy marriage.
Okay.
So if you want to do the things that your family has failed to do, you need to do something different than what they've been doing.
Right.
And don't go into a marriage with somebody fucking not trusting them and having an issue before it even starts. You are setting yourself up for failure. It's like,
Great.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry.
Well, now you seem agitated.
I was agitated way before that.
Okay.
Her opening statements to that email got under my skin. That whole, I hate every one of your type because of something that happened to somebody else. Mm-hmm. I don't vibe with that mindset.
Yeah.
You could put that mindset in a lot of other scenarios and you'd be called all kinds of fucking names, but because it's you hating men, it's okay. Mm-hmm. Fuck out of here with that.
This one's called Breakups, Depression, and Forgiving. I had a question, and now you guys will give the most true and genuine answer.
Well, they had a question.
My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 4 years. About 2.5 years ago, he broke up with me on an impulsive decision that was talked into by his ex-best friend, who is a male. What?
His ex-best friend apparently told him to break up with her, and he did. So she's got a relationship with a weak-minded man. Got it.
About to say, how weak-minded is that? That really is weak-minded. If you are willing to end a relationship and change the course of your life on an impulsive decision because your best friend was like, you need to do this, that's crazy.
Wonder what he said.
I hope she says. After a month, he came back to me saying he worked on himself and wanted to get back together. I agreed, and we got back together. It was partially my fault because I wasn't quite ready to jump back into things, but knew I still wanted to be with him. Over the course of this 2.5 years, I started my battle with depression, and I've been having a super hard time getting over the breakup and feel a sense of not having security, which is completely in my head and overthinking, which I always admit to. So no, that is not completely in your head because this man broke up with you out of the blue as an impulsive decision because his best friend said to do it.
Right. 2 years ago.
People, when something happens and there's a talk of a split or you guys take a break, the only thing you want back is that person. You don't think about the long-term effects their actions in the present are going to have on you, because now 2.5 years later, she doesn't feel secure in this relationship anymore.
I'm curious if he has done anything since then to make her feel that way.
Yeah.
Threatened to leave, lots of arguing, or if he's actually cemented the fact that he wants this relationship and is trying, because that matters.
It does. Along with this comes my insecurities individually, looking lesser of myself, not thinking I'm good enough or pretty enough, etc. My boyfriend has always been there for me, but recently it has begun weighing on him. For these last 2 years, I have been talking to him about breaking up because I feel so guilty to put him through all of this. I feel like I love him so much.
Okay, wait. So she's insecure in their relationship, but for the last 2 years, she's been threatening to break up with him because she's unhappy with herself?
Yeah.
Did you hear how that worked? Okay. Just
For 2 years.
Yeah, both of them. So she doesn't trust him and feels insecure about him leaving her, but for 2 years she's been threatening to break up with him because of the way that she views herself.
Mm-hmm. That's too much.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to handle that. I feel like I love him so much and he can find happiness elsewhere with someone who isn't depressed. I go through spurts where I want alone time to feel my feelings, but sometimes isolate myself for too long and he feels I am pushing him away, which I can absolutely see his side on that. We decided it would be best to take a break, and we've been taking a break since the beginning of February, but we still talk. Just have been taking time apart to come back to each other and work on ourselves individually for our relationship. Example, I started therapy and I'm making more time for friends. Sometimes I wish I would have been more open with telling him I want to take things slow instead of jumping back into things when we were getting back together. But the past is gone and I want to focus on the future for me and my relationship.
Pause.
Okay.
The past is not fucking gone. Because for the last 2.5 years, you have been insecure about him wanting to break up with you to the point now where you guys are now on a break since February. The past is not gone. You are still absolutely living in that past. You might be trying to get through it and do the work, which is dope that you're doing it.
Right.
But the past is still very prevalent because you haven't gotten over that shit yet.
I just feel like I'm messing it up and dragging him down with me, with my depression. We have this baggage we carry on each other, and we both want to let it go so bad, but just don't know how to go about it. Do you have any ideas or tips to letting go of the past? We feel our communication has been great, but we just feel like we are hitting a dead end. We have both hurt each other in different ways and both take responsibility, but are having a tough time moving forward. That's the end of it.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of hypocritical conversation there.
This is why you don't say things in your emotional state of mind. When you say something, you can never take it back, and that's going to play on repeat in your person's mind over and over and over again. And it gets to a point where you have hurt each other so much that there might not be a road back from it.
The thing that gets me is that they're constantly in that behavior.
Yeah.
They're repeating the same behavioral patterns over and over and over again. And because they're repeating those same behavioral patterns, they're spinning their tires in the mud. She's going to therapy now, so now there's a little bit of kitty litter in the mud. She might be able to get her car out of there, but they're still spinning their tires. Mm-hmm. You guys aren't going to be able to move forward if you don't get past your shit.
Right.
And if you want to move forward, you have to let go of the past. If you can't let go of the past, don't try to move forward. You guys just need to find other people that haven't hurt you yet. Mm-hmm. And if you're not able to process your hurt and your emotions and learn and get over that shit, you're going to have a real hard time in the future because nobody's fucking perfect. You're going to be running into all kinds of obstacles and complications in life, and you have to learn to navigate those things and move past them. Mm-hmm. Not spin your tires in the mud.
Right. My only suggestion is you have to accept that happened and he came back to you and said, I want to make this work. And you made the decision to be with him. So when that decision is made, anything in the past you have to let go of. If you're going to constantly revisit it like you have been for the last 2 years, I agree, you need to let him go.
Yep.
If you can't get past that hurt and that's something you're going to hold on to, that man does not deserve to go through 10 years of having the past thrown in his face when he's done everything he can to show you that that's not the case anymore. Anything else you want to add to this?
Could you imagine breaking something and not even trying to fix it and just doing shit to constantly make it work and just doing it over and over and over again for a long duration of time and not realizing that you're not doing anything to fix it, that it's never going to just magically fix itself, and that until you actually do something about it, you're just going to be stuck looking at this broken thing? Because that's how I view that whole scenario.
Yeah.
I get that they're going to therapy and that's dope, but they're literally doing absolutely nothing to fix their relationship. She's harboring all the same shit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I have nothing else to say to that. It's all, you just have to get over it. You can ask for reassurance, but if the reassurance is 3 to 4 times a day.
Right. Well, the reassurance is not going to matter if you're threatening to break up with them all the time.
Right.
I mean, they're not even together now. They're on a break.
Mm-hmm. You ready for the next one?
Sure. Hopefully this one has some stuff we can actually help with.
This one is called I Get Defensive.
Okay.
Hey guys, my wife and I have been married for almost 2.5 years, and we get into these arguments sometimes, and I am a very non-confrontational person. That's from my past trauma, and I'm working on that. I've done research and talked to my own therapist about not being so defensive. My wife and I talked about using I statements versus you statements. But even when my wife and I are using those tools and I'm communicating that I hear her and understand her and am empathizing with her, I will go to say what I feel, what I would like. I will go to say what I would like to say about the subject. She still says that I'm being defensive and either shuts down or just ends the conversation, and that destroys me inside. I didn't put this in here.
I did.
Okay.
Because that whole thing, I didn't read the whole email. I read that part before I moved it.
There's an attachment to it, like he sent a follow-up.
Okay. Well, let's go before you read the follow-up, because there's that statement is telling me nothing. Because in that scenario, she could be expressing her situation, and you could be validating her, and then throwing something in her like face that's not relevant to what's happening right now. Well, you did this, or you make me feel like this. While all of that's happening, when really what needs to be happening is you need to address what's going on in the moment with her, and you should have brought up your grievances way before this. If you've been holding on to something and waiting for an argument to bring it up, you're doing that as like a one-up. Like, I'm gonna wait until she fucking has something to say. I'm gonna throw it in her face. How is that going to serve you?
Right.
You validate her, hear what's going on, let her get it all out, and then the next day or the day after be like, hey, there's something that's been eating me. I'd like to talk to you about it. And then you get to have your grievance and you talk about your shit. When you guys have we had to learn this. When you guys have conversation and there's arguments on top of arguments that have nothing to do with each other, nothing's going to get resolved. You're not solving shit. You are literally cartwheeling through topics.
You ready to go on to the next part?
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm listening to your podcast for the first time and didn't realize some of the criteria for email, so I will rephrase.
All right.
I'm going to try and go Reddit style.
Hold on. I'm listening to your podcast. So they sent us an email probably based off of TikTok videos.
Right.
That are like 1-minute clips of our actual content that is always taken out of context.
I wouldn't send an email into somebody without knowing what their content is.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Imagine sending in an email with a bunch of identifying situations, not understanding that we read everything on air unless specifically said don't read on air, then we just don't respond to you.
Right.
And that gets out there and it just makes the situation worse because you didn't do your homework.
Yep.
My wife, who is 24 and I am 22, have been married for 2.5 years and been together for a total of 3 years.
So they got married during the obsession phase.
They got married 6 months into being together. For the first few months of our relationship, we were long distance. So you were long distance for 3 months, were in person for 3 months, and then got married. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
We were texting, FaceTiming, calling, and visiting each other every chance we got. We did premarital counseling before we got married, and it went great. We talked about how we wanted our relationship to look. We talked about not having kids. We have an awesome relationship. I've been in counseling for a little over 2 years because I had been diagnosed with MDD and anxiety, and I'm taking meds like Tic Tacs. What do you mean taking meds like Tic Tacs? Because when I hear taking meds like Tic Tacs, I'm thinking of like a drug addict.
Yeah, sounds like somebody's got a whole lot of issues.
Okay. What is MDD?
Not manic. It's a massive depressive disorder. I gotta look. It's a depression thing.
Gotcha.
Major depressive disorder.
Major depressive disorder. Okay. In counseling, I brought up the topic of communication because I know that I'm not the best at it. So, in premarital counseling, did you guys not talk about communication?
I want to know, how did that work when you went to premarital counselor? Hey, we spent 3 months on the phone. We've been living together for 3 months and we're going to get married. And the counselor was like, that's a great idea. You should do that. The other question I have is, what are you doing to learn your communication skills?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've been married for 2 years and you've been together for 3 and you knew at the premarital stage that communication was a problem, it's been 3 years.
Right.
The time to hesitate is through.
My main problem is I get defensive and shut down because I hate confrontation due to my past trauma. I've been working on it outside of therapy, doing research and finding better ways to communicate and working on implementing that into our relationship.
Okay, so there has been work on communication.
The problem is that even though I'm trying to implement that, I have a tendency of still coming off of... The problem is that even though I am trying to implement that, I have a tendency of still coming off as defensive, which understandably pisses my wife off. So if you're actively working on this, she needs to understand that and not get so angry when it happens.
Right.
She is part of the problem here if she instantly flies off the handle when you slip up for a moment.
Right. Agreed. Teamwork.
Yes. We have been working on using I statements and I still get pissy sometimes. I try to let her know that I understand her and validate her feelings, and after I reassure her of that, I feel the need to let her know my feelings on the matter. She sees that as me being defensive, and I see it as a couple communicating needs and feelings.
It's not what that is. That's you invalidating her in the moment because she needs you to hear what the fuck she's saying, and you are rebuttaling it with what you feel. It's not the same thing. If you came to me and you're like, babe, I feel like blah, 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 and I'm like, well, I feel like blah, blah, blah. I hear you. I hear that you feel that way, but I feel like...
I think it depends on the scenario.
Yeah.
If there was like a super shitty exchange while they were out shopping and she was like, you said this and it made me feel this way. And he was like, I understand that and I validate that and I apologize I made you feel that way. The reason I spoke that way is because you came across as super shitty and I got defensive.
Right.
And I recognize that I got defensive. Just going forward, if you don't speak to me that way, it would help avoid the whole situation.
Right. It's something that we both need to work on, is how I would end that.
So if that's what he's trying to do and she's getting defensive because she doesn't want to take ownership of her actions in the scenario, I can see how that would be a problem.
Yep, I agree with that. It means that there's not going to ever be any change.
Mm-hmm.
So context matters.
It does.
This is why we ask for as much detail as we can get. Willing to bet there's not an example.
No.
Well, never is.
Oh, wait.
Oh, there's an example. I was wrong.
I missed a paragraph. She sees that as me being defensive, and I see that as a couple communicating needs and feelings. When this happens, she will end the conversation because she feels unheard, and the issue never gets resolved, and I will continue to ruminate on it and have a fear that this fight will be the one she leaves me due to my abandonment issues. I don't know what to do to fix my defensiveness without becoming so passive and submissive. Thank you guys in advance. You guys rock.
So step 1, listen.
Mm-hmm.
Like actually listen when she speaks. Don't listen to respond. Listen.
When she says something to you, say it back to her.
Yeah. Validate that. Be like, I'm sorry that I did that, or I'm sorry that you feel that way. Mm-hmm. Let it process. And then later when she's calm and she feels like she's been heard, if you have a point to make, bring it back up again.
Yeah.
But she needs to feel validated and heard. When somebody tells you that you've done something to offend them, first you need to understand that them being offended is a them problem. It is. Like,
correct.
It's a choice. They're choosing to be offended by whatever it is that you did. There's also a deeper thing there. Like if you are doing something or saying something that like hurts their feelings and it's intentional and you're being spiteful, that's a problem. But the overall thing about somebody being offended is a them problem. So if you say something to her and she's offended and she wants to talk to you about how you offended her, be like, I'm sorry that I did that. I will work on not talking to you that way. I'll try to work on my tone. Now that I know that that's a problem, I'll make sure that it doesn't happen again. And that needs to be the end of it. You don't need to harp on it. You don't need to have a back and forth exchange. Just apologize. Let her know that you heard that that's what's going on. And then the next day when everything is good and calm, be like, hey, I've really been thinking about what you said yesterday. And I realized this is why I felt like that. This is why I said what I needed to say. Because now you're on your terms. You're not coattailing her argument.
Right.
That's a beneficial way to deal with things, especially if both of you have a hard time taking criticism, because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah. I don't have anything else for that one.
Nope.
Do you?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
How far are we into it?
1 hour.
Okay.
Actually less than that, because I have to cut a bunch out because I've been nonsense spewing this entire time.
This one is called Looking for Advice, Struggling with Balancing Values.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder what the values are. I just found you on TikTok last night and have been devouring your content since. I think you might be the only people who might have advice for me and would at least be willing to hear me out. I feel like I hold on to too many different views and values at once, and it feels like nobody in my life understands me or even cares. I struggle with feeling like a bad feminist because of the future I want to have as a traditional wife with a caring husband and kids. Logically, I know that's not true.
Logically, that's a stupid fucking statement.
That she would be a bad feminist because she wants to be a traditional wife.
Right.
Yeah.
Why do people feel the fucking need to label themselves with everything so much?
You know, to me, feminism is just women supporting women to be in their healthiest, grass is being watered, everything's going great. You feel fulfilled. If you're in a family, everybody's happy. Like, you're doing the fucking thing.
That's what feminism was supposed to be. Feminism was supposed to be equal, equality, equal rights all the way across the board. The freedom for a woman to work or vote or do all the things that a woman wants to do.
That she wants to do.
Right. Not what other women think is right for you to have.
Right.
So for you to call yourself a feminist knowing that you want a traditional value marriage, no wonder you're fucking conflicted. I don't understand that thought process.
Well, she said she's a bad feminist because that's what she wants.
Right. Why even call yourself a feminist? Why not just go, I want what I want, and I want you to be happy?
Yeah.
You need a label for that?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
No.
Like, is there a label for that? I would call it leave me the fuck alone because I'm happy and doing my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get in your business. You stay the fuck out of mine.
Yeah, I don't want all of those labels.
Yeah.
You don't need to know what I'm about. And if you know what I'm about... If you know what I'm about, then you're in my inner circle.
Right.
People outside my circle don't need to know my political views.
Yep.
And all that kind of shit, because that's not an adult conversation anymore. It's a temper tantrum between two adults.
Yep. Just got a new patron.
Hell yeah.
I don't understand the need for labels. I really fucking don't. Like, I know that we use the term traditional marriage and traditional values because we have them, but that's not what we are.
Right.
I don't have a label. The only label that I have on myself in terms of like anything is that I'm a libertarian. And that's only because I am aligned with a political party that believes in true liberty and people leaving me the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't run around defining my entire existence based off of the ideals of a libertarian movement.
People want to feel like they belong to something. It gives them a sense of self when they can identify with a group of people.
Why would you want to align yourself with a group of people that spew nothing but hatred? Because feminism, fourth wave, fifth wave feminism does exactly that. You know how many times you're called a slave because you have a happy marriage and a gender traitor and all the fucking hate that's spewed to you at TikTok all the fucking time by feminists while you're living your best life doing exactly what feminism has paved the way for you to do, and now somehow it's fucking wrong?
Yeah.
Good on that.
Me too. I strongly believe that true feminism is giving every woman the opportunity to lead the life she personally wants, whether that's to be a CEO or a stay-at-home mom. When I express these views, my more liberal friends tell me So your friends are not liberal.
Right. They're far left.
She said, but when I express these views to my more liberal friends, they tell me it's just internalized misogyny.
Wow. You need new friends.
That's not liberals.
Yeah, you need new friends.
Those are a hate group.
Fucking buzzwords, man. I'm so glad I didn't grow up in this younger fucking mindset. I really am.
I could not imagine my friends not supporting my lifestyle.
I wouldn't have them in my life.
Right, like...
You're going to improve my life or hinder it.
You have anything else you want to say?
Why would you, because like I was saying with the whole, you can either make my life better or you can hinder it. Why would you want people in your corner that's going to shit on you and try to make you feel bad about yourself? Because somebody telling you that is your own self-misogynistic behavior.
Right.
When you're saying that you want to have a specific lifestyle.
To be a stay-at-home mom.
They are shitting on your wants. And if that's going to make you happy, why would you want somebody in your life that's going to destroy that for you?
Mm-hmm.
You're not hurting anyone. If you obtain that and you become a stay-at-home mom and you don't have these fucked up ideals of what feminism is and you're not instilling that in your children, you can be a really good mom and you can have a dope fucking life living the way that you want to live without the outside influence of other people trying to destroy your happiness. Mm. This is why we tell everyone not to fucking tell their marriage bullshit to their friends.
Yep.
You keep that shit in-house and you work through your fucking problems and you put on a unified front to the world that the two of you are a cohesive unit and you keep your problems to your fucking selves unless there's abuse, obviously, then you get help. But when you have a minor disagreement or an argument, you don't run and tell people your business. You fucking keep that shit in. You work on it with your partner and you live your fucking life.
Yeah.
You don't need outside influences trying to dictate the way that you live. That goes across the board.
It does. Allowing your life to be influenced by the opinions of others is very weak-minded.
Yep. Where's your self-esteem? Self-worth.
Right. I personally would never want to be viewed as a weak-minded person. That would bruise my ego a little bit.
Yeah.
If people viewed me as weak-minded or gullible or naive.
I would rather people hate me for who I am than love me for who I'm not.
Yep.
You cannot like me. That's okay. I like me.
Oh yeah, I'm cool with people not liking me. I don't want a lot of people around me anyway, so the less people that enjoy my presence makes it easier for me.
Got a new shirt order.
Ooh.
We're almost out.
That's dope to hear.
We've got a little bit of the small and medium blah, blah, blah shirts left. Mm-hmm. And we have a variety of sizes of the have you checked ins, but they're almost gone. So for those of you who want to try to get merch before they're completely sold out, because we will not be doing these shirts again, tobebetter.co.
Correct.
tobebetter.co.
You might see them again in like 10 years.
Yeah. I want to do something different on the next run.
Me too. When I express these views to my conservative friends, their answer is that no woman should want a career, and I'm right for wanting a traditional-looking family because anything else is wrong. Where the fuck are you finding your friends?
No shit. Like, you have, like, extremes on both sides.
Right.
Do you not have any in-the-middle friends who are fucking normal?
Jeez.
Like, live your best life. I hope you're happy.
Right.
You're happy? I love that for you.
Yeah.
We have a traditional value relationship. I don't push that shit on anyone. Mm-mm. If that's what you want, I'll fucking support it. If you want to be the breadwinner CEO and want to own your own fucking business, I'm going to support that too. Because if I care about you, I want what's in your best interest. Mm. Do I have my feelings on the subject? Absolutely. But my feelings don't dictate your fucking life. They're mine.
Right.
I'm worried about my household. Mm-hmm. I'm not worried about anyone else's. These emails, even when we read these emails, I don't have any stake in y'all's lives. I'm giving you unbiased opinions based on what you're sending me. You need new friends.
Yeah. No matter what I do or say, the people in my life act like I'm confused or stupid or a bad feminist or a bad Christian. Okay, so what?
Where did that come from?
Is this person in a relationship?
Where did the bad Christian thing come from?
I have no idea. The conservative friends? I can't tell if you're in a relationship or not, but if your man is happy and you guys are like you're working towards the traditional values, who gives a fuck what anybody else says? I was raised in a loving church that taught me to love. I was raised in a loving church that taught me to live in the path of Christ. The path of kindness, strength, and education. In my church, I was taught to dine with sinners, help my neighbors out of kindness, and not for a gold star.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's how you're supposed to live your life.
Right.
And everyone in your life is not doing that.
And to respect other people's political views, religions, personal autonomy. But I feel like other Christians don't respect me because I don't meet everyone else with a turn or burn fire and brimstone mentality. My family thinks I'm a wild radical because I have piercings and because of their blanket views on my generation, and therefore must be a bad Christian who thinks everyone is racist and women should kill all men just because I'm under the age of 50 and not a man. I would be cutting contact from every person in my life and starting over fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds to me like you got a lot of really bad influences in your life.
Yeah.
I really couldn't imagine growing up and having to live like that.
Me either. I can't find a church or a social circle I fit into. How do I let go?
Join Discord. Go to Patreon. Patreon.com/tobebetter. Links in the description of this video. And if you haven't joined the Patreon yet, you need to join on the VIP or P tier and get into Discord. Because everything that you are saying in this email is the exact group of people that's over there. There's over almost 600 of us in there right now.
Right.
There are a lot of people out there who just want to help you be a better person and just let you live your fucking life.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody being caught up in other people's business is a fucking problem for me.
Me too. How do I let go of everyone else's opinions of my beliefs? You just stop listening to them.
How does that serve you?
You know, if people start coming to me about my own personal business, I would shut that shit down. I'm not talking about this with you. This doesn't concern you. You are irrelevant to that aspect of my life. Walk away.
Yep.
And if they start prying, well, what happened last Saturday? What's going on in your life right now? How's your man doing? You don't need to know that. Everything's great.
Yep. My life is fucking pristine.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not feeding me, fucking me, or financing me, your opinion doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
That should be the next shirt.
Yeah.
If you're not feeding me, fucking me, or financing me, shut up.
I would wear that.
And do a picture on the back with a guy and his fingers in his ears going la 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 la.
You know, I would wear that and then I would get one creepy comment from that t-shirt and I would throw it away.
Yeah. No, I'm sure you would get one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. You would.
I can see it now.
Fucking neckbeards coming out of the woodwork. I can finance you. No, you can't. Shut up.
Are they right and that I really am confused about everything and just need to pick a side to conform to?
No. Why would you want to pick a side instead of just doing what makes you happy?
I feel like this person's young.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet under 22.
Yeah. I feel in my soul that I'm doing my best to be a kind person, to educate myself more every day, and to respect the people around me, but I'm tired of feeling alone.
I believe it.
So, the last sentence is an apology for emailing us, which I'm not going to read because you don't have to apologize for emailing us. It shows a lot of your character and how, damage is not the right word, but that's the only word that I can think of. When you apologize for something that deserves no apology, you emailed us, which is something we invite.
Right.
So there is zero self-worth there when you feel the need to apologize for something that we are asking you to do. You need to stop divulging your life to people. If somebody asks your political views, that's not something I'm willing to discuss with you.
Go ahead. Nope, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm trying really hard not to interrupt you all the time. Did you lose it?
It's okay.
You said that if people come to you and want to talk politics, tell them it's none of their business.
Mm-hmm.
Did that trigger your thought process?
Vaguely. If somebody comes to you and they ask you about how you want to live your life, you want to be a stay-at-home mom, and you tell them I want to be a stay-at-home mom, and they start hitting you with all this bullshit, ask them, are you going to be a stay-at-home mom? No, I would never do that. Okay, then shut the fuck up. You're going to live your life the way you want to live your life. I'm going to live mine the way I want to live mine. Your opinion means absolutely nothing to me when that's not how you would do it.
Right. Do you want to be happy in life?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, what is it that makes you happy in life? Oh, Cool. Then you do that, and I'm going to do what makes me happy. And if you care about me like you claim you do, you'll keep that negativity shit to yourself and let me live my life and be happy.
Mm-hmm.
That need to control and make everyone fit into a bubble and wear a label and politically diversify and or divide, and make everyone fucking hate each other and my way's the right way and your opinion doesn't fucking matter. And if it doesn't align with what I believe, you're fucking wrong. Mm. That's the problem with our country.
Too much. And you guys are okay with this divide. You guys are okay with absolutely hating a group of people just because they don't share your opinions.
Right. I'm willing to bet that if you sit down and really have a talk with a lot of those people, or if they were to sit down and talk with each other, they could find common ground on most things. Mm. The extremes, obviously not.
Right.
But if you can agree with somebody 50 to 60% of the time, you could be friendly with them. And if you don't agree with them that much, you can still be civil. Mm-hmm.
It's called being an adult.
Yeah.
I do recommend joining the Discord.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go into the Patreon, signing up for the $15 tier and joining the Discord. That is the community of people that you're seeking.
It also blows my mind that people are having a hard time finding people like us because I found a lot of them.
What do you mean?
Like there's people out there who live like we do that have the same belief process that we have. And even some of my really conservative friends are like, if what you're doing is making you happy and you're not hurting anyone or hurting kids, who cares? Like what goes on in your home is your business. What goes on in mine is mine. Let's just fucking leave it that way and be cool with each other. Like, I just don't understand that thought process.
Yeah.
I really fucking don't.
Me either.
We're an hour and 10 minutes in.
I feel like we've been sitting here for 3 hours.
It's been an hour and 20 minutes. Actually, it's been literally an hour and 20 minutes. And there's a whole lot of shit we got to cut. So it's probably going to be more closer to an hour.
Well, we have a bunch of emails in the cherry picked.
Yeah, let's just keep going, I guess.
Alrighty. This one is called Coming to Terms with the Demands of Entrepreneurship in a Relationship.
Okay. I like this. I like where this is going.
Okay. Thanks in advance if I'm able to get help with this issue. I feel like it might be small compared to some of the emails that I've heard you read on the pod, but I do think it's an issue you might be intimately familiar with.
Okay. Maybe.
My boyfriend, who is 34 and I am 33, have a very similar traditional relationship and dynamic of a little over 2 years. I take care of 99% of the home duties, and he takes care of 99% of the out-of-home duties, car maintenance, etc. He is the primary provider for our household. Because we are not married yet, I am continuing to work on a very part-time basis, 10 to 15 hours a week. My income pays for the luxury and premium fun in our lives. We have spoken about our relationship intentions, and we intend to be engaged before our 3rd dating anniversary and married before or around our 4th dating anniversary.
Okay. I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually can respect that on a whole lot of things. You're 2 years in. Just want to make sure I'm taking this in.
Okay.
Kind of got goosebumps right now. My hair is standing up on my legs and everything.
Mm.
You're 2 years in. You've already gotten the household dynamic, the structure of the way you want to live as a married couple figured out, and it's working. 2-year mark.
Right.
It's fucking gangster. You're not engaged yet.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a year before you plan on the engagement. So you have that time frame to get out of the obsessed phase and figure out if this is really what you want to do. And then another year after the engagement before you actually get married to solidify your foundation.
This is how you do it. My boyfriend is a multifaceted blue-collar entrepreneur.
Love that too.
Am I saying that wrong?
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
I actually don't like that term. I don't know where I heard it, and I don't know if it's true or not, but somebody told me that word basically means does not work. Because if you're an entrepreneur, you're making your money work for you while other people are actually doing the labor, and I prefer the term small business owner.
Yeah.
So, and I know that that's obviously not how that works. That's just what I heard once, and it stuck with me. So, like, I always call myself a small business owner.
Yeah. He was in business for 4 to 5 years before we met. Being in California, he had a pretty deep dip in his earnings due to pandemic.
Oh, yeah. Imagine that. When your entire fucking state shuts down because of politics.
Mm-hmm. We got together in October of 2020. We've worked together to rebuild his business by diversifying his income streams. I have a degree in accounting and act as his office manager and bookkeeper on top of my 10 hours a week. At this point, he has diversified beyond his commercial and industrial welding to commercial generator rentals, emergency preparedness, and emergency diesel repairs.
Why are you guys in California? Emergency preparedness.
Mm-hmm. Florida.
Or Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys are missing. I mean, obviously, you can do a lot of that work online.
Right.
You can sell the emergency. I don't know what the emergency preparedness shit is. To me, it sounds like survival kits, med kits, things like that. But I don't know. Leave California. All the cool kids are doing it. It's not peer pressure. It's just your turn.
This diversification has brought around a revenue stream that has made us very comfortable.
I bet.
And this is where the crux of the issue lies. Because of the emergency status of his businesses, he often gets called in the middle of dinner while on a date, etc., in order to take care of a business matter. I try to be as understanding as I can, but honestly, it sucks. All right, so I'm going to pause. When you get with somebody who is a business owner, this is something you're signing up for. There have been several times while we're at the movies, while we're out on a date, while we're doing mini golf, whatever is happening, you have to step away and handle something that's going on with one of the businesses.
Yep.
I can understand thinking like, damn, that sucks. It is what it is. I would rather you put out a fire that's going to ensure that our business is going to open tomorrow versus giving me that 10 minutes that you're going to be on the phone call because I need your immediate attention while we're on a date. Our lifestyle is far more important.
Right. And we have a dope fucking life. And those are inconvenient moments. Mm-hmm. But that's just the life of a small business owner.
Yeah.
The I don't know where the rest of this email is going, but I will say that the best thing that he can do is find somebody to work underneath of him as like his secondary that can handle those kind of problems and like field. So like, is this really, I need to bother him on his dinner date or can this wait for an hour? Mm-hmm. Because when I have that with one of my managers, like if it's really fucking important, she'll call me. Otherwise I'll get a text message and I can deal with it when I deal with it. Mm-hmm. That goes a long way. Having that, you'll make a lot more money. When you can delegate responsibilities and you can have people that you can pay to take some of the weight off of your shoulders, it frees up your time to do other things. Mm-hmm. And then as you do those other things and you build your brand and you get going, then you hire somebody to take over that position and you still delegate to all of these other people, and it frees up more time for you to do more things. If it wasn't for my managers, we wouldn't be doing this. No. There's no way I'd be able to run my businesses and have a podcast. Mm-mm. But there are days where we're recording and I gotta, wait a minute, I gotta fucking take a phone call and it's a 45-minute phone call and then I gotta cut all that shit out of the podcast and we're sitting here staring at each other while I'm on the phone. Right. It's just life. You suffer now so you don't have to do it later. Correct.
Today was the worst reaction I'd had to it thus far. He had worked approximately 40 days without a day off. We implemented our first check-in report card. Thank you so much for this.
You are welcome so much for that.
So they implemented it this morning with the intention to have the day together after to go on a date and take care of some household errands. Shortly after ordering lunch, before the food had even arrived, he had gotten an emergency generator rental call. He asked if I wanted to stay and have lunch alone and he would come back for me or if I wanted to go with him.
The answer is yes, I want to go with you.
Correct. I obviously chose to go with him.
Good woman.
But I know my annoyed mood was painted on my face.
So you allowed an inconvenience to ruin the time that you could have had with your husband.
Right. That's still the day together. No matter what you're doing, it is still the day together.
Yep. Fucking right. You could have had lunch in the car. You could have held hands. He could have held your leg. You guys could have made out. You know what I mean? Like you could have had alone time together.
And you guys could have stopped somewhere else to get lunch afterwards.
Yep. Could have still had your date afterwards. Mm-hmm.
It's all perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Your perception is your reality and your attitude is going to dictate your life.
Be like, I'm going to need this to go, and I'm eating this in the truck on the way there.
Yeah. I have a buddy of mine, and I'm not going to say his name. I really wish I could plug his cigar business, but I can't even think of that right now. But he used to be he used to do it like oil changes and shit locally. He worked at like a Jiffy Lube type place. And one of his mottos was smile and the world will smile with you. And at the time I was a very angry young man. Yeah. So like that was never a thing for me. You're like, fuck that. Every time I talked to him, I was negative. I always had some hateful shit to spew. Like I was just a miserable fuck. But he said that shit to me one day. And like, that was the start of changing my perspective on things because he's fucking right. Yeah. If you walk into a room and you flip everyone the bird, you're going to have a really bad time. If you walk in and smile and head nod everyone, you have a really good day. Yeah. You smile and the world will smile with you. Mm-hmm. Now I need to look up his fucking business because I feel like I need to plug him.
All right, I'm going to keep reading.
Absolutely.
A part of me understands that this work is necessary to provide for our life and our lifestyle. Even still, a part of me feels like he could have set forth a boundary and offered to be there in an hour or so. A quick lunch is better than no lunch. I also feel as if he is setting the I'll always be available expectation to his business clients, which is not maintainable. Ooh, so many questions. When you are running emergency businesses the way he is, if he does not have somebody to delegate these responsibilities to, that is going to be him for a while.
Yep. It's Trash Panda Cigars.
Trash Panda Cigars.
Yep. So for you guys who are into that, he's the one who gave me that quote.
Okay.
Years ago. It's probably like 15 years ago.
As a business owner, you always have to be available.
Yep.
That's never going to go away. As the businesses grow and he's able to hire managers or whoever he needs to, it will slow down. It won't be as frequent, but he's still going to receive phone calls 10 o'clock at night in the middle of dinner on a date. Like, hey, this needs your immediate attention. I've tried everything and I don't know what to do.
Yep. But that will become less as he hires people. Your life is going to be better as the more money is coming in.
Right.
And if you have to suffer for 10 years now to be able to take 2-week vacations where you don't have to worry about shit, this 10 years is nothing if that's how the 10 years afterwards is going to be.
That 10 years is going to mean nothing when you're standing in Italy for a week.
Right. Yep.
It's all going to be worth it. If you let your sour attitude continue to taint this, he's going to get tired of it.
Yeah, possibly.
And it's going to ruin the intimacy in the relationship. You're going to be nagging more. Your love tank's going to be empty. He's going to be feeling like he's failing you as a husband. And it's all on perspective.
Yep.
I haven't spoken to him yet about this situation because I'm still digesting it myself. But I'm concerned that he will continue to choose business over moments to nourish our relationship out of concerns for being a provider. I need to process that sentence.
Will you read it again? Because I had a thought and I lost it.
Okay. I'm concerned that he will continue to choose business over moments to nourish our relationship out of concerns for being a provider.
Okay, so as a man, you guys have a mainly traditional relationship. That is part of his manly duties: protect, provide, and lead. That's the main
that's the
three,
top three,
right?
yeah.
Like, so he's doing part of his manly duty. You can't look at it as he's putting the businesses above you. He's doing what he's doing because of you.
Yeah.
If he didn't have you, he would still be doing things and still making moves, but he's trying to make sure that you guys have what you need and provide. And like, I don't know, it really does come to your outlook, like the way that you're viewing the situation.
And he's still trying. He's taking you on dates.
Doing the check-ins.
Yeah, he's doing things with you. He's definitely putting you as a priority. It's just one of those things that you have to accept when you decide to be with a businessman.
Do you ever feel like that's a problem for us? Because I mean, we've had dates end. Like we've had situations where it wasn't just a quick phone call, but like when you look at the mainstay of our life, it's fractional in comparison to the hours that we get to spend together and like the dope shit that we get to do because of the businesses and like.
I have never once thought he's taking another fucking business call. I can't believe he's doing this.
Okay.
I've never felt that way. If anything, it gives me a moment to like check what's going on with the kids if they're at their dad's house or look at whatever new plant I want. Check out TikTok. Think of something stupid to say and make you laugh when you're done with it because you might be irritated.
Yeah. It really is just a pause.
Yeah, it really is. Even if it was a 2 to 3 hour pause because we have to go run errands or something, now I get to talk your ear off in the car.
Yep. I could see like if we were out at like a musical and like that was a thing that we did on a regular occurrence and like we had 5 of them planned over 6 weeks and 3 of them got interrupted and had to leave. I could see the frustration in that, like, because that's frustrating. Like you are excited for this,
right?
But that goes back to what I originally said. Or you just put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Could it hurt your business? Maybe, but make a voicemail.
I was about to say make a voicemail. Unavailable for the next 3 hours. Please call after 4:30 p.m.
I'm dealing with a family emergency. You don't need to give any detail. I will be away from my phone for the next 3 hours. I will resume phone calls at 8 p.m. Leave a message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Do Not Disturb is a beautiful tool. I put my shit on Do Not Disturb a lot.
Yeah.
But I also have people in place. And it sounds like you guys are living comfortably.
With no people in place.
With no people in place. So use some of that money that's making your life so comfortable and hire somebody to do the jobs, even if it's just a filter. Hire a personal assistant. That makes your life fucking gangster to be able to call and delegate things. My manager at one of my shops is not a personal assistant in that she follows me around and does shit, but she handles all the bills and shit. So like when my money's there, like, and I need things paid, I call and be like, okay, I need you to pay this, 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 and this. And she signs the fucking checks and puts them out.
Right.
You know, she feels a lot of the things and a lot of things never make it to my desk or to my lap or my phone because she's got that under control. And that's what I pay her to do.
Right.
And she's fucking good at it. So, and it's worth every penny. It's worth every fucking penny. And I pay very well. I pay her very, very well. Worth every penny. I cannot fucking stress that enough. If she ever leaves me, I will probably cry if she ever quits.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, can I offer you a raise to make you change your mind? Do you want a new car? Like, what do I got to do to make you stay?
Do you want the bathroom upgraded in your house?
Yeah. Tell me what I need to do to make this not a thing. Value your people.
She is definitely a very valuable one.
She's a fucking asset.
Yeah. After the COVID dip, he has had a lot of anxiety about taking care of our family. He, I, and 2 dogs, and I 1000% understand those pressures.
You know how to fix that? Move to Texas or Florida or South Dakota. Get the fuck out of California.
You know, I could understand that anxiety because after the hurricane, you were going through it hard.
Yeah.
About money. When money is fucked up, if a man is a provider, he will not be okay.
Yep. That was the first time you ever saw me go in full panic mode.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I have a strong feeling that both of you can relate to these feelings.
Yep.
Both the feeling of anxiety to provide and the concern about being supportive of the business while leaving space for the health of the relationship. So, because our lives are go, 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 and there's never really a moment for us to just take a minute, those small touches throughout the day, like walking past each other in the kitchen, or me coming over and rubbing your shoulders while you're at the computer.
Or that ass smack.
Little.
I've learned, there are methods to the ass smack.
You have a couple of sciences.
Right. It's not even always a forward slap like
No.
a baseball swing. Sometimes it's like a karate chop.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a side swipe so I can get both cheeks at the same time and watch them go.
Yep. There's a straight down one.
Yep.
Makes it bounce.
Yep. There's an art to the ass.
There
slap.
really is an art to it. You should write a book.
That's my physical I love you when I walk by.
If you ever stop doing that, I'm going to think you don't love me anymore. Yeah.
I don't think I've gone a single day in our relationship where I haven't smacked your ass. I honestly don't think I have.
You do it at least once a day.
Yeah. Even on days that I didn't feel good, I'd give you as I walked by.
Just a little tap.
Yeah.
So.
I like these kind of emails.
Me too.
Because it gives us a lot to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like there's no pity me in this.
Right. This isn't a situation that's going to end their relationship.
Well, right. But even there's also accountability there. Like she
Yeah.
realizes that a lot of this is her problem and
Yeah.
she's asking how to get over it, but she's not playing a victim in it. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's recognizing why she feels this way. So like there's an accountability in that. There's a lot of growth that can happen here.
Yeah.
And it feels good to hear something that's not like I'm a depressive mess or my boyfriend watches too much porn or he cheated on me or we cheated on each other or you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
My suggestions would be in those moments where you feel yourself getting frustrated because dates being interrupted, he has to leave dinner early, whatever's going on, think he's doing this for me.
right.
He's doing this because of me. He's doing this for us. Yes, it sucks that he has to leave early. You're going to miss that time. You were really looking forward to it. When he comes back, when he comes home again, just say, babe, I love that you went out and did that for us. Now let's spend the evening together.
Right.
Showing him that appreciation, I can guarantee he hates it when that shit happens too.
Oh yeah, it's frustrating.
If that man just worked 40 days in a row and this is the one day and he was like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go have like lunch with my woman. I'm going to be able to catch up with her and just be around her and hear her laugh. And then he gets that phone call. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yep. I guarantee that you can see his mood change.
Yeah.
There's a deflating moment for that. Like when you're finally like, all right, I get to really decompress, even without the woman in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
If you work for 40 days straight and you finally have a day where you're like, I'm not even putting my fucking pants on today, and the phone rings and you're like, bitch, you have no choice but to answer it because it's your business, isn't, and like you're the one that makes all the decisions. You have to answer the phone.
And I can't imagine how much more shitty he feels when he knows it's going to cause an argument.
Right. Or makes you feel bad.
Yeah.
There's definitely got to be a level of this sucks.
Yeah.
For sure. I don't know why you don't go with him. Like if you have the opportunity to go with him when he has these emergency calls, you still get to spend time together.
Right. You don't even like, he's repairing something. I don't remember
Right.
what the businesses were, but if he's out repairing something, you don't even have to get out of the truck.
Right.
Sit in the truck, read a book, work on a planner.
Get out of the truck and run interference with the client so that he can focus on doing the job versus having somebody talk his fucking ear off.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would
That's
be
smart.
that would be super gangster. Because the more he can focus on getting things done.
The quicker you're out of there.
Yep. Is there more to that?
No, that was it.
She's got a good man.
She does.
You got a dope fucking relationship. Like
Mm-hmm.
you explained everything in the beginning was amazing. This sounds like a really small hang up, and I think it comes down to the perception of the situation, the way you're viewing it. And I can understand the frustration there because you want the downtime and you want to be able to have dates and do those things, but you have to think of the long-term aspect of it. You suffer now so you don't have to later. You know, that's why we're working so hard on the podcast, putting in the 50 hours plus a week that we're putting in, spending all the fucking money that we're spending and doing what we're doing is because in the next 2 months, my goal is in 2 months. By the end of July, I want to be so backlogged with data or content that we can take a week off or go to Tennessee or go to Vegas or fly to Iceland and not have to worry about that shit other than the live streams. And I got to be honest, in those cases, I'll probably just cancel the live streams that week.
During a check-in, I would bring up the possibility of setting up a voicemail that says I'm going to be away from my phone for the next 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I would really talk to him about hiring somebody.
Yeah. Provide an alternate phone number. And when you do hire somebody and say calls will be routed here, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Yep. They actually make, there are services that you can pay to do that. And you can forward your phone number to an automated number so that somebody else will answer the call and they can field the call. If it's something that really needs to be dealt with, it's literally just a receptionist. But they make those, you know, so that if you call someone after hours, it goes to a call center. And if it's something that they can help, they will. Otherwise, it gets forwarded to whoever needs to deal with it.
Do you have anything else you want to add to that?
No, but I'm overly optimistic that we're going to have another good email on the next one.
I'm hoping so.
Because I enjoyed that one.
That was a good one. This one is called Secrets, Privacy, and Withholding.
Okay.
I am enjoying your podcast so much. I stumbled onto it at a time in my life when its relevance and insight is especially precious to me. I am a recovering people pleaser and low value woman.
Ooh. Are you a recovering low value woman? Is that how she worded that?
Yeah.
Are you recovering from that too, or do you still see yourself as a low value woman?
Well, let's find out.
Details matter. Was it a comma or a period?
What do you mean?
How did the grammar look on that?
It says recovering people pleaser and low value woman,
Okay.
period.
So then she's also a recovering low value woman.
Yeah.
Okay. Some accountability and some growth.
I'm here for that, yeah.
Same.
I'd love to hear your perspective on the role of privacy, secrets, and withholding in a marriage that is leaning with time into more traditional values. I hope you elaborate on all of that because what is being withheld?
Right.
Like basic survival needs or sex? Are you not allowed to leave the house?
Yeah. How can you read the three things again?
Privacy, secrets, and withholding.
Okay. So I don't think the withholding is a sexual thing. I think the withholding is a information thing.
Or
And
like
it sounds like there's hints of infidelity or insecurities there that somebody might be cheating.
Okay. My husband and I have both been guilty of hiding information, non-disclosure of information, and keeping secrets.
There you go.
Because the nature of that information was damning and laced with shame, guilt, and fear.
There you go. Called that.
We've both micro-cheated in our 18-year marriage. We've both inappropriately sought validation and attention from people outside of our marriage.
That's cheating.
That is cheating.
You can spice it up by calling it micro cheating, but it's fucking cheating.
That micro-cheating softens the blow a little
does.
bit. No, you cheated.
Yeah.
You full-fledged cheated on each other.
Yeah. You gave somebody else an opportunity to fulfill your partner's duties by going to them versus your partner.
Yeah.
And the disclosure of those things that are going on in your marriage allows people to emotionally manipulate the situation and create a negativity bias. I 100% view that as cheating.
Correct, me too. I'm outlining this to take full ownership of my faults and poor choices and how they impacted my relationship with my husband. This is not a finger-pointing situation. This is our shared history.
Okay. I like that.
Last spring, I had an unofficial mental breakdown.
Wait, is there a way to have an unofficial? Is there official? Does it come with like a stamp?
I think the official is getting Baker acted.
Okay. We'll go with that. Just got to make sure I'm on the same page.
That's how I would view it.
Yeah.
Through that process, one crucial step we took as a couple was to radically discuss and heal the fissures and fractures in our marriage.
Okay.
That process was arduous.
Arduous.
What does that mean?
Involving or requiring strenuous effort.
Okay.
Difficult and tiring and arduous journey.
I like that word. Arduous.
Yeah. Arduous.
That walk this morning was so arduous with that vest on.
There you go. Use it in a definition, babe.
Me learning the word by applying it to real life scenarios.
Yeah.
The kids make it very arduous for me when they continue their whining. Keeping that plan alive is very arduous.
This is the way our brain works.
I'm doing great.
You are. You're killing it.
Thank you.
While you do that, I'll be right back.
You ready to continue the email?
Yes. I'm still doing something, but I am paying attention.
You're listening.
I am listening.
Okay. That process was arduous, painful, humbling, and simultaneously liberating. In the sense that I felt a dramatic return to the truth of myself and the type of woman I want to be. I've made substantial changes in my life in the pursuit of embodying a woman of integrity, reliability, and kindness. That's how I want to be viewed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like at my funeral, I want people to say that and that I had grace and patience. I want to be the embodiment of femininity.
Do you know what this is?
No. Is it your new fidget thing?
No, I didn't order one. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum.
I'm ready.
Bum, bum. All right.
I'm prepared to sweat.
It's going to be a whole lot worse than sweat.
Yeah?
Yeah. I have friends who have done this who said that this is really not a fun thing.
All right, we'll find out. So many positives have resulted from these changes, and I feel much more aligned with my value and worth. My marriage is improving as well in most areas. There is a sticking point that I can't seem to truly find resolution on, which is why I'm bringing it to you today. Throughout conversations with my husband, I have been clear about my desire to be fully honest and open. I've confessed to things that I've done in the past that I'd kept secret, knowing that disclosing them would have a catastrophic consequence. I confessed to these things because in my mind, in order for our marriage to be better in magnitude and quality, breaking old patterns and being accountable for them matters. My husband sees things differently. Ooh. So in that instance, I agree. If you guys both want to make this work, you have to be upfront and honest about everything.
Was that the end of your thought?
No, I just looked up and you were looking at me and I lost it.
I'll look like this from now on.
Oh my God. You have to be upfront and honest about everything. Finding out, like, say 5 years after you guys came clean about everything and something new comes forward, that's going to throw a wrench into everything and you're going to fall 1,000 steps backwards.
Yep. It's easier to just not do shady shit.
Right. He admits that there are things he withholds after he evaluates whether they would cause me pain or hurt.
I get that.
Additionally, when I mention that secrets, things deliberately hidden, are damaging and contributed in no small part to how weak our relationship was for many years, he disagrees. I have directly stated on numerous occasions that we cannot have more secrets, deception, or sneaky behavior. He has yet to echo this sentiment.
There's a difference between being deceptive and hiding shit than it is to just not saying something that's going to hurt your feelings and just bottling up and processing on your own.
Right.
So I need to know, I guess, more specifics on what it is that's going on, because him choosing not to have an argument with you because it's something that he can just get over is healthy. Why would you want to fight over something that you can just go, okay, it's not that big of a deal, I'll get through it and move on?
So what if they're disclosing things, like how many people they've cheated on? She wants a number and he's like, I'm not going to give you a number. You just need to know that I've done it and it's not happening anymore. I personally would not want to know the number.
Right.
And I would appreciate having that information withheld as long as you're upfront about what it was.
Right.
I don't need to know the quantity, how many times it happened. All I need to know is that you've done it and that you are agreeing that we are no longer doing this anymore and we want to both change our ways to have a healthy relationship.
I agree with that. Because they've both done it. I
Right.
wouldn't want to know details on how many either. All that's going to do is hurt you. It's not
Right.
going to change the situation. It's not going to make things better. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'd rather not know.
In his mind, perhaps he can't distinguish between secrecy and privacy. I do plan to try and have this conversation again. There is certainly a difference between secrecy and privacy. If he's having conversations with his brother about something, you don't need to know what that conversation is about.
Right.
If you're trying to read every single text message he sends to his mama and his best friend, I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
Having an open phone policy is something I certainly support. But if you're checking his phone every 5 minutes because there can be no secrecy, I would have an issue with that.
So I agree with the open phone policy, right? And I've talked about this in the past. If you felt the need to go through my phone, like I'll hand you my phone. You ordered lunch on it all the time. You can answer my phone. I don't give a fuck. You have my passcode. You using my phone versus going through text messages is two different things. So like, if you feel the need to go through my phone because you don't trust me, that's where the problem is. Doesn't matter what's on my phone at that point. I'm no longer trusted as your husband, and we need to sit down and have a conversation and figure out how we get back to trust, or this isn't going to work.
Right.
That's always been my standpoint. It will always be my standpoint. I would not be comfortable with you sitting down and going through my phone and reading conversations between me and my mom, or me and my sister, or me and Sean, because it's none of your business.
Yeah.
And even if it has nothing to do with there being foul doings, like
that other person who is sending you those messages is not privy to the fact that I'm reading everything.
Right. It's deeper than that, though. Like, you are removing somebody's individuality to be stuck up their ass to that point to have to read everything on their phone.
Right.
I'm just not okay with that. That makes me uncomfortable. I would never pick up your phone and dig through it. I can. You've told me I could. You have nothing to hide. We tell each other when people send us inappropriate messages, I don't want to know what's on your phone. I won't go in your purse. Same concept. If you're like, hey, can you get me out of this purse? I'm bringing your fucking purse to you and you're going to dig for it. I'm not doing that. You're not going in my backpack. It's not like there's anything in there that's going to hurt you. I'm not hiding anything, but there should be that sense of,
that's yours.
this is mine. Right. Yeah. That's healthy. I'm good on all that. I don't want people knowing all my business like that. I'm terrified of those chips.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. This is not going to be pleasant.
Okay.
Discord said that neither one of us are going to win this challenge.
Okay.
We're both going to suffer is what they're saying.
We'll see.
You really don't think it's going to bother you?
I think it's going to be hot. I think it's definitely going to burn, but I don't think I'm going to start crying or anything.
I might.
Like, what? Am I supposed to not drink milk or something?
Well, we're supposed to see who can go the longest. It's supposed to be 5 minutes without making a face or whatever, but...
Without making a face?
Yeah.
I can't make a face without speaking.
Right. Well, we're going to suffer is what it's going to come down to. And if we can go... See who can go the longest without breaking.
Okay.
You're going to win. I'm going to eat the chip and drink milk right away.
Really?
Probably not. I don't know. I ate 4 bags of those ghost pepper chili chips that were fucking amazing.
Those were really good, yeah.
But it said on the bag, extremely fucking hot or whatever. And it was the hottest level of the bag for basic. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't. It wasn't. My stomach doesn't like me because I ate 4 bags of those in 2 days.
You haven't eaten all the purple ones, have you?
No, there's 2 left.
Good. I want one. I like how sweet they are.
I had a bag for breakfast this morning.
Oh my God. You're
good.
Really gearing up.
They're good.
They are good. I admit it's a little blurry for me too in terms of really defining the differences and how to hold each other accountable. I don't need to know everything he's discussed with his coworkers, what he talked to his mother about on the phone, what he purchased at Lowe's for his woodworking hobby. But if an action choice conversation undermines the expectations and values of our relationship, even in a small way, is it reasonable to expect disclosure?
Depends. You're looking at everything as very black and white, and it doesn't work that way.
Oh man.
What if he has somebody in his life like I have with Tim, or somebody that they can really just divulge their shit to because it's easier to just vent and get it out. Their pasture. Maybe they're going to a therapist and they don't want you to know about it because they're trying to work through things to just be a better husband. And you pick up the phone and you find those things out. What if there's been a gift ordered? You know what I mean? Like, there's a whole lot of things that don't need to be disclosed. If I was thinking about Control-Alt-Deleting myself, and it was starting to scare me to the point where I was really thinking about it, and I didn't want to scare you, and I started seeing a therapist. And I just told you I'm going to go start seeing a therapist, whatever. And that's the end of it. And there happens to be a text message conversation between me and my therapist. I'm really on edge right now. I just need somebody to talk me off the edge, whatever. I know that that's not ever going to happen. It doesn't work that way. But if it did, and you picked up my phone and dug through it and saw that, you would be infuriated that I didn't tell you that I was thinking about those things. When in my eyes, I'm trying to protect you from the hurt that's going to come from me feeling that way.
Right.
So where's the right or wrong there? Because in my eyes, I'm right for trying to protect you from that, knowing that I'm seeking the help to make sure that I don't cross that line. Whereas other people may see it as a betrayal because I'm supposed to lean on you and divulge all of that information.
That's crazy to me that would be viewed as a betrayal.
Right.
That I would come from a place of understanding.
Right. Because
and
you've been there.
appreciation.
Right.
Like, I can see how you would view it that way, that you would want to protect me from that hurt. Because it's something you're never going to act on, but sometimes those thoughts are really prevalent and you can't get them to shut up.
Yep.
So it would definitely be a understanding, and when you're ready, I'm here, and if you're never ready, I get it.
Yeah, this email says a whole lot of I don't trust him and he doesn't trust me is what it comes down to.
Well, what she just said was, what if the action, choice, or conversation undermines the expectation and values of our marriage?
I need an example or a dummied down version of that because I don't understand what she's asking.
Okay. I'm just going to read the rest of it and see if she clarifies. Or is it, as he says, better to leave it unstated to save hurting the other person's feelings? To be clear, we expect monogamy. We are not polyamorous or ENM. What is ENM?
Don't know. Don't care. Doesn't affect me.
Okay, we are genuinely working hard on our communication, execution, effort, and timelessness. And this is a big hurdle for me currently. Feeling as though my husband may not admit to doing something that jeopardizes the safety and sturdiness of our marriage makes me question, well, everything.
So you don't trust him. That's what it comes down to. You don't trust him. And you need full transparency because you don't trust him.
Right.
That's what it comes down to. You're insecure as a motherfucker.
Yeah, they've both cheated on each other.
Right. So you've both done really foul shit and he's trying to get over it and you're trying to get over it and you need full transparency for it to happen and he doesn't. There's a lot in that whole scenario. Like if you guys have boundaries and you know that you're not supposed to cross those boundaries and you have both been very honest about what's been happened. I cheated on you. You cheated on me. I sent dirty text messages. You sent dirty text messages. You fucked my cousin, whatever it is. And that's all been aired out. And you guys know there has been wrongdoings and it's been admitted. The honesty is there. So what is the likelihood of it happening again and it not being honest, especially if you guys volunteered the information?
Right.
And you've worked through that.
So this is her question. How do I continue to show up in honesty and integrity if I can't trust that he'll do the same?
You're not asking for him to trust and do the same. You're asking for full transparency and to be able to see everything that goes on in his life. That's not trust. That's not trust.
So she said that she doesn't want to know what he's talking to his coworkers about or to his mama or whatever.
Right.
But she wants to know if all of his conversations or if any of his conversations undermine their relationship in any way.
Right. But that's not trust.
That's not trust, no. So you saying, well, I don't want to know what he's talking to his coworkers about, or I'm not trying to read the text messages. You still want to know, though. You want him to play back every conversation he's had that day to make you feel secure in the fact that he hasn't undermined the relationship.
Right. If you have security cameras and you have people working on your yard and you can see them working and you trust them not to steal anything, it's not that you're trusting them. You're watching them on the cameras. You know everything they're doing. There's not trust there. Trust is the ability for people to do the right thing at the right time. You know what I mean? And not the wrong thing at the wrong time. Like I just don't, that's not trust to me.
I don't know how to go about providing a solution for this.
Yeah.
When you're with somebody and you're supposed to be their forever person, you don't do this foul shit to each other.
Right. No, you're wrong. You're not wrong.
So I really don't know how to correct or remedy the situation when you both made the active choice to do this to one another.
I think the response to this is that you both fucked up, you both owned it, and it's time to start fresh. Because if you're trying to move forward while harping on the things of the past, you're not going to move forward. You both fucked up. You have to own that you both fucked up, and you've worked through it and decided to stay with each other.
Right.
And you guys know what it felt like to almost lose each other, and you didn't want it because you guys decided to work through it. So now you need to trust that things are going to be right moving forward. And if it happens again, then it's just as it meant to be.
Yeah.
Because you gave the trust back, even though it was glued together and not whole the way that it was the first time. And you just have to trust your person. And if it doesn't work, they weren't meant to be with you. You know what I mean? Like,
And that's okay.
right. Or maybe you spend 10 years with somebody and you learn a whole lot of life lessons and then you move on to somebody else that's not going to affect you like that. I don't know. I don't understand that not trusting your person and staying with them thing.
I don't either. You want to do another one?
Yeah. Yeah. We're only 2 hours in. We're less than 2 hours in. Let's do one more and a thank you and then call it. That way we can order food. You can go do what you got to do and we can get ready for the live. And if we have time, we can do this chip challenge.
Okay, because I still have to leave.
I know.
Okay.
Well, it's not even, it's just now 2:00. We don't have to go live until 7. So we have 5 hours, which should be more than enough time to do lunch, your run around, and the chip challenge
Okay.
with the other emails and the thank you.
This one is called Judging Myself.
Okay.
Hello there. I hate it when people include their names.
It makes it harder to make it anonymous.
It just, I read as I read. Like,
Right.
I'm not registering what I'm reading until I'm on it.
Yeah.
So I just almost said her name out loud. Hello there. I'm 30 years old and have been in a relationship with the same man since I was 19 and he was 22. So we are going on 12 years this year. We definitely...
In a relationship?
Yes.
Okay. Not married. Got it.
We definitely strive to have more of a traditional marriage relationship. We have been engaged for 2 years and we are getting married in October of this year.
Should have said strive.
Lately, I've been doing a lot of self-reflection, trying to be more accountable for my actions and my way of speaking. We have 2 beautiful young girls together, and life has for sure not been easy for us. A little background, we started dating super young. I was fresh out of beauty school. I was in a state in my life where I didn't want to date anyone. I was working on being happy, alone, and happy with who I was and content with being by myself since I dated a lot through middle and high school. In somewhat long-term relationships for being that age. These are just really long run-on sentences.
Yeah, I can tell there's no grammar there because of the way you're reading them.
When we first started talking, I told him I didn't want to be in a relationship and just wanted him to be my first friend. Wanted to be my friend first. Which was the case. We were talking for months over the phone. His brother dated a friend of mine at beauty school, so we did not meet on the internet. One day explained to me that not being his girl meant I was free game for other men, which he didn't like, so it was official.
Oh, so he told you. Didn't ask. He just told you that you guys were officially together. That's cool. Sounds controlling as fuck. Great way to start things off. Ownership with no agreement there.
The saying, you know when you know if you found the right one, is very true to me. In the beginning, everything was different than past relationships. We were inseparable and loved spending every moment together. But like I said, we were young and stupid. Together we had been through a lot and have overcome a lot together. Fights, addiction, homelessness, fighting, cheating, stealing. A lot of those came from drug addiction. We were both addicted to drugs, but him worse than I. Those were very huge situations to have to deal with being in our 20s. I was not homeless, but he was. He had nothing left to offer me, but I'm not someone who kicks a person when they're down. I'm a fighter. I don't give up on people. I have had people give up on me, and that is something I don't do. So, if it comes to a point to where you are sacrificing yourself for another person, would you still do that? I'm not willing to do that. I am not going to drown for somebody who will not stand up in 3 feet of water.
Yeah. Are there levels of addiction? Like if you're an addict, you're an addict.
Yeah.
Is there levels to that? Like can you be like, well, you're more of an addict than I am? Does that work?
I don't think so.
Does that sound as dumb to you as it does to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if maybe someone's popping pills and the other one's using meth.
Yeah, but you're still an addict.
Right, but if that was her reasoning, like he's doing hardcore drugs and I'm just popping pills, he's a worse addict than I am.
Yeah.
You're an addict.
Yeah, both can kill you though.
Yeah.
So, both can make you do really fucked up things to chase that bitch.
Mm-hmm. I obviously had to protect myself as well, so we had a couple of years that were dreadful. Kids started in the getting clean phase. I had to pick up more of the slack, and in doing so, I started losing everything because I was basically a single mom. He was in and out of rehab trying to get his life together, and I was giving him the space to do so. But at the same time, we had our first child, and I would not let him out of his role as a father, but gave him enough space to be able to be a good father as well in the long run, which was extremely hard for me.
Sounds like a whole lot of control.
That sentence made absolutely no sense to me.
Read it again, because the beginning part of that where she's like, I'm not going to let him get out of that is a controlling statement.
He was in and out of rehab trying to get his life together, and I was giving him the space to do so, but at the same time we had our first child, and I would not let him out of his role as a father, but gave him enough space to be able to be a good father as well in the long run.
Okay, so he was going through rehab and struggling with addiction. You guys had a kid together. What would have happened if, in your effort to control his behavior, he relapsed?
And then he OD'd.
Right. I mean, because that's the thing. You know how many people who are addicted to things that have a tolerance and take time off, and that tolerance goes away, and they get a bag and fucking try to shoot the same amount that they were doing before and die from it? Yeah, that happens. It happens a lot. That's actually how most drug overdoses happen. It comes from people being clean for a little bit and then going right back on the drugs and fucking having the tolerance go down.
Right. Not realizing that that's happened.
Right. I really am very attentive to the way that you guys word things in these emails, because it tells us a lot about your character and the way that you treat people. So,
yeah. We did the dirty work. Ooh, before I even keep reading, who started with the drugs? Because she just finished going to school. She had everything going for her. If he was already doing drugs and she fell into that, why would you
that's a good question.
Choose to be in a relationship like that and then bring children into the world with a man who's addicted to drugs?
Yep.
That's wild.
And super fucking common, unfortunately.
We did the dirty work. We had quite a lot of conversations, calm and heated. Most times it would take me repeating myself calmly, then freak out for it to actually stick and get my point across. Our communication skills have for sure gotten 100 times better than before, but I still find myself getting very frustrated with small things. I don't want to get frustrated, but I have also spoken on those feelings to him.
Okay, so you're saying that he controls your emotions and you have no responsibility over those whatsoever. Got it. Because you getting emotional or frustrated is a decision that you're making. That's a you thing. That's your perception, your reality, your decision. Nobody can control your emotions. Nobody makes you happy. Nobody makes you sad. Nobody makes you angry. That's a you thing. So where's the accountability?
Yeah.
He does X, and because he does X, I allow myself to become frustrated in the moment. How do I deal with this?
Well, she has an example.
Okay.
Example, he considers himself a traditional man, father, and husband. He is a provider, protector, etc. He is the man of this house. He is a blue-collar worker, which I love. He does the work on cars, fixed everything and anything, pays bills, but not all of the bills considering I have to work too. He started his own business, and I supported that, but it takes time to build that up, and I am 1000% okay with picking up slack. I work 3 nights a week as a bartender waitress, and also he gave up his office to build me a salon in our 3rd bedroom. So I also do hair on the side because he knows how much I love doing that and wants me to build a business for myself. I love that he's supporting that.
Right. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are you still working? Like, I have so many fucking questions in that. Blue collar workers make good money. And if you sacrifice things and you make your spending come down for a little bit and you save your money, or you open an LLC and go get a $50,000 loan based off of your LLC, you can open a business. To open a salon, the most expensive thing that you're going to be doing there is renting the unit.
Right.
Especially if you have a blue collar worker that can build everything that you need. It gets way fucking cheap when you can do the work by yourself.
Right.
And you can skimp at first, get the doors open, start generating revenue, and then slowly replace everything. That's what I did when I opened my first shop.
With that being said, gender roles are a big part of our home. I clean, cook, do laundry, take care of the kids. The problem with this is when I work, I try to work the most I can in a few days. So I work from Friday at 4 to 10, then do open to close Saturday, so 10 to 12, so 10 a.m. to 12 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's at 18 hours in 2 days.
Okay. It's very hard on my body, but I can make an easy $700 to $1,000. But when I'm not home, basically Friday midday to Sunday morning. The problem is when I'm out working to help with bills, I come home to a disaster. The kitchen will have a clean dishwasher because I make sure I leave for work Friday. I run it so there's clean dishes and an empty sink. When I come home, it's filled to the top, trash everywhere, not clean. Clothes, the kids are running free. There is no order in the home when I'm not there, and then during the weekdays, I try to play catch up.
So you have different parenting styles. You've acknowledged that you have pink jobs and blue jobs, and you're mad that he's not doing the pink jobs when you're not there on the 18 hours that you work.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to make sure I understand.
I would just start doing hair full time.
Right.
Or in the mornings.
Or have a discussion with your husband or your
Mm-hmm.
partner. I don't remember if she said they were married or not, but if you were working that 18 hours and you need him to do the dishes, the days that you're gone, it needs to not be your job to do the dishes. It's our job to do the dishes, and he needs to understand that.
Mm-hmm.
If he's under the mindset that that's your job and that's what you guys have laid out, you don't get to get mad at him for not doing your job.
Right.
Do you go to do his blue collar work for him? Is he getting mad at you for not doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I also understand that you're working 18 hours is not the same as 40 hours. And like, I understand that you have a full day out of the house and you're making really good money doing it. Why don't you do that full time? You can make more money than that doing hair.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot more risk that comes involved because it would be your business. And if you were able to get other style, anyways, I was about to go on a whole business tirade. I'm not doing that. I don't care enough to do that.
Okay. So I explained to him, I understand these are my jobs to do.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm fine with that. I like a clean house, but can we afford for me to not work so when I'm out picking up slack and helping with the bills? So I explained to him, I understand these are my jobs to do, and I'm fine with that. I like a clean house, but can we afford for me to not work so when I'm out picking up the slack and helping with bills, I need you here helping me pick up my slack.
That's a good thing, reasonable thing to ask. So what's the problem?
Right, but the way that she worded that, if that conversation went, can we afford for me to not work? When I'm out doing what I'm doing, I need you to pick up the slack here. So what do you want? Do you not want to work, or do you need help picking up the slack?
Right.
You just hit that man with 2 questions. He's only going to answer 1.
Well, did she say how the conversation went? Because she expressed her needs.
We are supposed to be a team, and I need you to help me to try at least maintain the house. It's hard for me to get to the next task having to start over every week. He gets upset because he shouldn't have to do the dishes. He will do them, but only once I start complaining, because at this point, I said it so many times, I end up getting angry.
Okay, so everything about that entire statement is nagging to me. She gave a whole lot of unnecessary information and then complained.
Right.
Instead of saying, I can't do both, so I'm either going to be a stay-at-home mom or I'm going back to work. One or the other. Make the decision. And then once the decision's made, you got to go back to work. Cool. Now we need to figure out the division of labor.
And if you're not willing to do the division of labor, then you need to get a pay increase.
Yep.
Then we have to figure out how to do that.
Right. You guys don't I don't understand why people need to give so much information. Like, that sounds more like you need to feel heard
Right.
and validated, and you want him to understand that you're frustrated that he doesn't do the dishes, instead of actually working to have resolution to what the actual problem is. And there's a fucking difference. If you're having a conversation to complain versus having a conversation to resolve conflict, those are 2 very different scenarios.
Right.
I can't keep doing this. I'm unhappy with our living situation. So moving forward, I either want to work full time or I want to be a stay-at-home full time. What are we doing? And then if he needs more information, he can ask you.
We talk about gender roles, and I agree with them. Our situation doesn't allow for me to be a stay-at-home wife. We want to grow as a family, and in the winter months, I work more because he has a seasonal business that has been growing every year, but most money made in the summer months. We want to move where it is warmer so we can make better money and I can stay home more. So my problem is he always says, it's not what I say, it's how I say it.
Okay, so he's telling you what the problem is.
I struggle with my aggressive words and tones with people. It really is something I don't like about myself, and I know wholeheartedly I have to change and I'm working on it, but it is natural for me. I'm very honest and blunt. I don't beat around the bush and I give it to you straight. So there's a difference between not sugarcoating things and being a bitch.
Yep. I'm so glad you said it. So glad you said it.
I am a very upfront, blunt person.
Yep.
I articulate myself in a way to you that comes across as, this is the issue, how do we solve it? I love you.
Right.
It is never, you're the fucking problem, you need to fix this. It's out of my hands.
Yep.
This is a problem because of you. So he's telling you what the problem is. You know what the problem is. This is coming across of, I am who I am. You got to accept it.
Right. Saying that you're working on changing it, knowing that it's the problem means you're not actually changing it, or you wouldn't be going through this still.
Right.
If you said it's been a year since the last freak out, I would believe that you're making changes. Knowing that it's a problem and changing it versus actually implementing it are two very different things.
Yeah.
It's no different than people who are screamers that scream and yell in conflict that start stopping. I don't want to yell at you like this. I would rather talk to you like a person. That's changing. That's changing your behavior in the moment. Right. Apologizing about it afterwards doesn't change your action. And if there's no change in your actions, your apologies don't fucking mean anything. Using the I'm direct and blunt is literally an excuse to be a fuckface.
It is.
And there's no reason for that. You can be very direct without being blunt and without being an asshole. Like you can find ways to say things and get your point across with kitty gloves or with compassion and empathy. That matters.
Especially toward your husband.
Yeah, somebody that you claim to love.
Yeah.
And I understand that people that are in relationships get underneath of each other's skin when they've been together for a long time, especially when there's kids involved and you've had these conversations over and over again. He's told you what the problem is. You've done nothing to correct the problem, and he's done nothing to correct the problem on the dishes. And he's told you he doesn't feel like the dishes should be his responsibility because you guys have a traditional relationship. And if you've set those goals and dishes are your job, it doesn't matter if you work a day or not because he sees that as your job.
Right. I understand not everybody can handle that, so I feel people out and try to pick my words wisely.
Whoa, so you'll do it for other people, but not your husband.
But not your husband.
Okay, got it.
Okay. That says a lot.
It fucking does.
That really says a lot. So you know how to do it with other people, you just don't care to do it enough in your relationship. Because you don't care about offending or upsetting your husband, but you care about other people's feelings.
It's control.
Gotcha.
There's a sense of ownership to her kids and to her man.
Yeah.
And she feels that she can treat him differently than she treats other people. I'm willing to bet that if she treated him that way in the beginning, they wouldn't be together.
Oh, yeah.
So she was able to curb it in the beginning.
Because she was trying to win him.
That.
I grew up in a home where my mom and stepdad would scream and yell at each other. They would scream at me and my little brothers, and I would insert myself in that to take the heat from them because I could handle it better than them. I'm trying to break the generational bullshit from our families. His dad was abusive towards him and his brother, and his mom was so scared of him that she had to create an exit plan, which takes a long time. So we both have past issues in our lives that we both acknowledge and try to change for our lives together. So like you said earlier, talking about change and actually implementing the change are two different things, and your actions or your words mean absolutely nothing without your actions.
It's crazy that you grew up in a really shitty situation and so did he. And instead of trying to work through these shitty situations,
you're just living
and
it.
be better for each other, you're just like, fuck it. This is the way we're going to be.
Yeah.
Your communication styles are obviously off. You guys are not hearing each other, and it's because you're not being direct and you're not speaking to him the way a man speaks, and you're not listening. He's told you what the fucking problem is, and you've told him what you believe the problem is, but you're not telling him the problem. You're telling him the way that you feel versus what the actual issue is. And it's not the same thing. Men don't see it that way. Women speak on emotion, and your emotion is what you believe to be true in the moment. I said this the other day. We don't. We're very black and white. It's either right or it's wrong. And if we tell you that the issue is the way that you fucking talk to me, that's what the issue is. And if you come to us and say that, you're overworked and you're tired and the kids are too much and you're working part-time and that's not enough and you shouldn't have to do the dishes and blah 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 blah, you're spewing your feelings.
If the conversation goes, I feel like you should be helping me with the dishes because I'm working, of course he would say, well, I feel like that's your job because we have gender roles.
Right.
If the conversation was, babe, I'm overwhelmed, I've worked 18 hours in 2 days, would you mind helping me with the dishes? That'd be a totally different conversation.
Yeah.
If he then hits you with, well, that's your job to do because we have gender roles, that's a problem.
I mean, kind of. I got to be honest, that conversation, even that is too much information for me. That was too much information for me. If you were in that role and we were doing that life and you were getting ready to go to work and you were to be like, hey, can you make sure there's no dishes in the sink when I get back? I appreciate it. I love you. I got to go. Cool. Got to do the dishes while she's gone. That's all I need. I don't need all that shit. I don't. You want me to do the dishes. Got it. I don't care about the why. If you need me to hear the emotion aspect, it's a different conversation. And you know it. You know it so much that when you give me extra detail, you're like, wait a minute, you don't need all this. This is what I need. Got you. Do you think that when he does his blue collar job and he's with his blue collar friends and one of them wants to him to do part of their job, that they go, hey, can you do this? And then give them a rundown of every single thing they do and the reason why they do it? Or do they trust him to just do the fucking job? Because if you just trust him to do the fucking job, you could be like, hey, I work Saturdays. I need you to do the dishes on Saturday and I'll do it the rest of the week. Problem, solution, resolution. Super fucking simple, right? Because you're super direct.
Right.
The I feel statements, in my opinion, and this is totally my opinion, the I feel statements come down to a communication need where somebody's doing something wrong habitually. Not a service like taking care of the dishes, but like the tone of voice or berating each other in front of your friends, like those kind of things. Like I feel disrespected when this is said. Those I feel statements to me make the most amount of sense. But when you need something, just tell me what you need me to do. Don't tell me how to do it. Just babe, I want to make you happy. You just tell me what you need me to do and give me the ability to do it. And if I'm not doing it, then you can tell me you feel disrespected that you asked me to do something and I made the decision not to do it. Right. And I can be like, I forgot. Moving forward, I'll try my best not to. And you'd be like, okay, well, then I need you to set an alarm on your phone Friday night or Saturday night, 5:00. Do the dishes. Make sure the kids had a bath. Clean the living room. Whatever. Guys add too much conversation to things that aren't necessary.
Yeah.
You over inundate us with information and it becomes an overwhelming conversation because that's not how our brains work.
I really love this man. He has come so far and grew so much and becomes a better person every day. But we did go through such a wild, tragic, emotional, and hard few years together. And then we had 2 kids and kind of had to put our problems on the back burner for them.
What?
Wow. Tell me you weren't ready for kids without telling me you weren't ready for kids.
Why? No shit. Why would you put your problems on the back burner? Why would you have kids if you're having problems?
I bet it was an accidental pregnancy.
I'm sure it was, but there's still ways to
That's not
prevent that.
Even if you do have problems, you don't put them on the back burner for the children.
No,
those problems are going to fester.
Yep.
They're going to become infected. It's wound care.
It's so easy to take care of shit the moment it happens versus putting it off and letting it settle. You're right. It's wound care. Maintain that shit.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get annoyed with this email now.
Well, it's almost done.
Okay. You're absolutely right. It's wound care. That's a very good way to put that.
Now they are a little older, and we are getting back to the love we started with. I just wish I could have more words to explain the help I need from him and give him and have him take it in. He is not super emotional. He doesn't like to get deep. He has and he can. It's just not a common thing for our home. I don't need to get super deep. I just would like to be able to say how much I appreciate him, and also I need to feel more appreciated by him.
What a fucking turn at the end of the email.
How... I can understand having anxiety about a confrontational conversation. I could not imagine saying, I wish I could tell him how much I appreciate him. Tell him. If you have no issue complaining about all of these things, but you don't step forward and say like, hey babe, I know we're going through it. I just want to let you know I appreciate everything you do. That's so lopsided to me.
That was a pretty good moment there.
What do you mean?
That was a very good point. I was waiting because I had things that I wanted to say, but I didn't want to disrupt your train of thought because I realized I did it a second ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good fucking point. You're more comfortable complaining and nagging and like trying to control the actions of your man than you are validating and giving him positive affirmations.
That's crazy to me.
Wow.
What does that say about the dynamic of the relationship?
Right. I didn't see the last part of that email going there. This entire email had nothing to do with giving him validation and positive affirmations. It was all about him
not helping.
Not giving you what you need and you not being able to communicate it and you two not being able to communicate with each other. And everything I said in there earlier about him not being needing all of that information while you're being emotional because you emotional mind argue points where men don't do that. She just solidified that by saying he's not an overly emotional person.
Yeah.
Saturdays, I work a full day shift. I need you to take care of the dishes because I don't want to come home and be backlogged. Got it. 5:00, I'll do the dishes. Like, in the event that he says the dishes are not my responsibility, they're yours, then you say, okay, cool. Then I'm not going to work anymore.
Because that's your responsibility.
Right. If we're going to play the his jobs, her jobs, it's your job to provide and support the three of us.
Mm-hmm. Step up your game.
Yeah. Get a raise. Open another business or work longer hours. I don't know what to tell you. But the extra $4,000, up to $4,000 a month I'm making on a day and a half's worth of work is now gone because I'm going to stay home. Mm-hmm. You want me to do my duties as a woman and as your wife? I need you to do them as my man and I need you to lead. Very direct, very simple, not overly blunt, not being a fuckface, just being matter of fact.
My love language is acts of service, so I do things for other people to show my love and also want that in return. I don't know how to start a conversation with him to see how he would like me to say some things nicer or calmer, or just better so he can accept them and apply them. So 2 things. You cannot expect somebody to love you the way that you love them.
Right.
So if your love language to give is acts of service, you cannot expect him to return that with acts of service.
Right. Especially if he doesn't know.
Right.
And why are you afraid to tell him that?
My second thing is you don't know how to start a conversation with him. The conversation would be, I have heard you that I don't say things in a way that I've heard you that when I say things, they come across as an attack to you. What are some ways that I can phrase things to avoid that? Because I don't want to keep doing this with you.
Yep.
We are all about a traditional marriage. I think I have had to have more masculine energy because of the situations in my life. He's also very masculine, and I need someone more masculine than myself, or else I would feel like I'm wearing the pants. I like when he takes charge and allows me to be more feminine, but it's hard for me to explain that. Explain that to him. You're in a traditional marriage.
Right.
That's a given. One of you is going to be more masculine than the other, and one is going to be more feminine than the other.
It's like that in every relationship.
It is.
Period.
But you guys are doing the traditional pink job, blue jobs. How? I don't understand. Why is there no room for you to say, I want to feel more feminine in our relationship? You're agitated.
A little bit. Because there's just, I don't know.
This was all over the place.
Yeah.
If this is what your guys' conversations are like, I can understand why he gets frustrated.
Right.
Because this email went from, so he considers himself the traditional man, but then you go on to say, well, I work, so that's not really what we have. And then it devolved into, your problem is, he says that you come across as aggressive and you're aware that this is a problem, but you're not doing anything to change it.
Right.
And then that went into, I just wish I could tell him how much I appreciate him. So what's the problem?
Their communication and her inability to actually be direct, which she said she's very good at.
There was really
she said
not
that
much.
she's very direct and blunt, but she can't tell her husband what she needs? So where are you direct and blunt because you like to be a bitch and you want to fucking nag and control and like be that person in the moment? Because being direct and blunt when you need something is across the board.
Right.
You don't get to sugarcoat that phrase and utilize it in the moment when it suits you and then be timid the other times.
Right.
You can't expect somebody to view the world the way that you view the world, and you can't expect him to know what's on your fucking mind if you don't tell him.
So the only question I've seen here is how to initiate a conversation with him about addressing things in a more calm manner. And that is, you tell him, I don't like that we do this. And I hear that part of the problem is the way that I address you. What are some ways that I can rephrase myself so it doesn't feel like I'm attacking you?
Right.
That's my answer.
Could also start the check-ins.
Yeah.
You know, I got to be honest, I assume, and I should never do that because when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. But I assume that when people send us emails, they've already watched that video.
Right.
And they've already tried the check-ins or they've implemented them, because that is the entire preface of our whole stick. Like everything that we do is revolved around communication, and it all starts there. So if you've tried the check-ins and there's something going on and you send an email, we know you've tried the check-ins. We can then try to problem solve
From there.
But if you haven't tried the check-ins yet and you're not even able to initiate that conversation and have communication with your person, how are we supposed to help that?
Can't. Just repeating ourselves.
Yeah, I also don't understand being with somebody that you're afraid to talk to. What does that say about the security in your relationship if you are afraid to talk to your partner? Why are you afraid? Are you afraid they're going to blow up and hurt you?
Mm-hmm.
You're afraid you're going to hurt their feelings? Sometimes people's feelings need to be hurt.
Yeah.
And if you're okay with being direct and blunt in times of conflict, you should be able to be direct and blunt in your needs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't have anything else to add.
I don't either. And I'm actually starving now.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this isn't even going to, it's probably going to be right around 2 hours.
Okay.
But I'm fucking done. Like we had 2 really good emails and now I'm just annoyed.
Yeah.
So with that being said, episode 21 coming to completion. We did not plug Discord or Patreon, so I'm going to do that real quick. If you guys find value in what we're doing and you want to support what we're doing, go to the Patreon channel, To Be Better, patreon.com/To Be Better. There's a Discord there. Actually, I think we did talk about this a little bit because we told somebody earlier to go to Discord.
We did.
That's how you get there. We have built a community of like-minded individuals that are able to problem solve and help. They are a very good group of people. I'm very, very proud of what we've put together over there and the people who've joined us. We have men's and women's groups going at given times where we are trying to help people on like a semi-coaching thing, I guess you would call it, because it is team efforts. Mm-hmm. If you would like to support us beyond that, super chats go a long way. And the best thing that you can do is share our content.
Share it.
Yep. The more people that get to see this, the better off we'll be, because we'll be able to grow the channel even more.
Yep.
Did I do that in the disclaimer? Did I mention the sharing our stuff? Because I want to put that in the disclaimer.
No, you did not.
Okay. All right. With that being said, we will see you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that, found it entertaining, funny, or even learned something you didn't know before, share it. And if you're not subscribed, why aren't you? And for those of you who want to support us, get access to exclusive content and live streams, we do have a Patreon. All the links are in the description.